That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most.
Testing. There we go. Okay. All right. This is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart
and Chris Bornstead.
and Chris motherfucking Bornstead, and we are back in Chris's place. It is the first episode of the new year. It is the last episode under the drone presidency, which is also known as Barack Hussein Obama. He is out as of Friday. This is his last week, so that's usually just spent by presidents pardoning their friends and other random people that he thinks deserve to be pardoned and whatnot. Usually it's a lot of, well, at least with Bill Clinton and Bush, but just about everybody else, it's always big political donors that get some kind of economic liberties taken away, and then their personal liberties taken away because they didn't feel like having their economic liberties taken away in some sort of fashion. So that's what they usually do in the last week. I don't know how much stuff Obama can really do in his last week of office to just ruin the country anymore. So hopefully he's just done fucking things up.
Well, he's pardoning the heck out of everybody right now. He's throwing a bunch of those out there, but he threw a good one out there. Dave, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, I think.
Yes, Battle Voice.
Battle Voice.
Yes, we are back to using the mic on the...
We are not in a professional studio. We are in my kitchen, and I can see it's picking me up just fine.
Well, no, and it picks you up just fine when you hit this. See that?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about, Battle Voice.
Battle Voice.
Okay.
I just don't have, a battle voice when I'm, going to talk like this.
Fucking get it.
I feel like I'm yelling at people if I get really loud. And I don't want
I kind of just talk like that anyways.
Well,
I get that a lot. You're yelling.
Yeah.
I'm like, you haven't even actually ever heard me yell.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I hear that around here. Yeah.
Please.
But anyway, so, yeah. He could, who knows what he can do on the way out. He's going. I'm just happy about it. He's going.
You are happy that he's going. I'm indifferent to whether he's coming or going and who's there because I have absolutely no faith in any of our leaders. So,
yeah, you've pretty much gone to the radical category, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just pretty much an anarchist. I'll still vote for my people in the Libertarian Party.
Right.
Or people that I know. Like,
right.
If I know you, I'll vote for you. I
right.
happen to have met every single person that's a Libertarian that I've ever voted for.
Right.
Like, I met Gary Johnson.
Yes.
I talked to him.
Yes,
I met
I've seen
Austin
the pictures.
Peterson.
Right.
I talked to him. I met Dave Steenson. I didn't actually get a vote for Dave Steenson.
No, but you
I met
campaigned
Kelly.
for him.
Like, I know Kelly. I know Rob. Like, those people, I know them, so I have no problem voting for them.
Right on.
But, yeah, pretty much, I don't know, voting for people that I haven't met. I really don't know about picking your slave master, so I'm not really trying to encourage them by voting too much for
slave master.
who the slave masters are. I'll vote for any type of liberty issue to help me become more free, but if it's not helping me or
you
my neighbors
pretty
become
much
free...
believe in being a free person every minute of the day, and
all day, every day.
All government repugnant.
Except for the fire department.
Except for the fire department.
Yeah.
Why do they get special kudos?
Because they run into fucking burning houses.
Right.
What are you talking about? You very rarely hear about, the fire department fucking shit up like cops do sometimes. When a cop has a bad day, you hear about it all over the news.
So do you expect to manage that?
What do you mean?
Well, somebody has to manage it.
The police?
The police can't manage the fire department,
Well, no, the police. Why would the police manage the fire department?
so we need some kind of committee
You
or
could
form
just
of type of, I don't know, say government.
hire police. Have private police.
I mean,
forces.
somebody's got to run it. I mean,
Just about everything can be ran in the free market that the
yes,
government does.
okay,
So
yes, that is true.
private
But
security.
you just pointed out.
You know, private security for your own neighborhood. If you hired security for your neighborhood, you and your neighbors, and didn't have to, you know, give to the general fund to the cops for
No.
the whole entire city that is hard to do anything about because they have the police unions and whatnot, your neighborhood would most likely be a lot safer. A lot of less people would be shot because private security forces have a lot less shootings than regular police officers do because they know that they're not going to have, you know, the police unions just sitting there having their back screaming like this was justified. So that's what's up with that.
All right.
What
Well,
do
I
you-
just wanted to make sure that I understood. I still believe that we have a system that we have to currently work under, and that, you know, our job is to currently dismantle as much of that as we can.
Yes.
But I still understand that until we can get there, we have to work inside the system. So that's where I think I differ from you. I still believe in some rule of the laws that we have in place, where you would just like go out and do whatever you want. I would not. We're different that way, but we still have a lot of the same ideals. It's crazy how that works. But anyway, what were we going on to? Obama, the drone president, on the way out the door. And
Well, before we get to that, we're going to talk
Kenny, he's
about
screwing
the.
stuff up. I mean, besides screwing up the election for Hillary, you know, which he helped with that too.
So it's tax season. Tax season is upon us. I have put a call out on the Facebooks and the internets to have somebody with some kind of small business background who isn't a fan of paying taxes to come on the show and talk about that. And that reminded me that we have come April 18th.
Would you call it Emancipation Day?
No, that's something different.
That's something different. We didn't get there yet, did we?
No. What we have coming up is Tax Day. Which
Tax Day
is
protests.
April 18th. We're going to have the second annual Tax Day protest at the southwest side of the Allen Street Bridge.
Okay, explain that to some people because they'll still be confused.
What is confusing about we're going to protest Tax Day because
No.
we
The
don't
location.
Like... Oh, okay.
All people will hear is the Allen Street Bridge. So
It's the side of the bridge on the dike that, if you follow the dike, goes to the Hall of
there we
Justice.
go. There we go.
And I put justice in quotation marks. Like
they can't see you.
You
do
can't
that,
see me
though.
doing that, but I'm using my fingers to put quotation marks around justice in the Hall of Justice. But it's near there. Like, you'll see us. I'll be there all day.
Apparently, there has been some changes to Facebook on my laptop that I do not approve of.
Like what?
Just, you know, windows popping up that has to do with other Facebook posts that I don't want to see when I'm trying to do important stuff for you.
Okay, so yeah, we will be there protesting Tax Day,
Tax Day.
Theft Day, whatever you want to call it, coercion by use of force day. We're going to steal your money and pay for our illegal wars and dronings all over the planet day. That day.
Right.
We were out there last year. For how long?
I didn't.
Long enough for me to get a freaking stomach cramp from screaming too long in my bullhorn.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
Last year, Tax Day lined up with the same day as Emancipation Day, which was the day that they freed the slaves. Which isn't that ironic?
Yes.
That's ironic.
I
That
said
would
yes.
be.
Yes.
Well, yes, I'm explaining the irony to the people that are out there that last year, the same day that they set the slaves free was the same day that you had to get your taxes paid by.
All right. Are we
Isn't it
done? Are we
ironic?
done talking about the drone president, or is that something that we just kind of talk about?
No,
throughout the show?
like I got
I mean,
all
because I
this
have-
list of grievances about the drone president. That's just
Right.
what I could come up with.
Right. Okay.
And if
so
anybody that wants to,
wait.
we got somebody.
Wait, before you go any further, I need to read the definition of something for you. And I want everybody else out there to listen to it, but it's the definition of a scandal. the Obama administration and Obama himself is claiming that there has not been any scandals underneath his leadership.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, they did say that. Yeah,
When did he say
they're
that?
arguing that. Well, he argued it. He's been arguing it. They're arguing it every day that they leave office right now. So, the definition of a scandal: an action or event regarded as morally or legally wrong and causing general public outrage. That's
Okay.
pretty simple, pretty simple there.
General public
Right.
outrage.
And I would like to argue that Benghazi and 2 data breaches under your watch are both scandals. I mean, WikiLeaks is a scandal. I mean, it pretty much got frickin' Hillary Clinton unelected. I mean, it made her so she wasn't president because of all the information that came out of WikiLeaks and all this stuff that was leaked out of there. Which, by the way, today Obama pardoned the person that put all that information out there that tanked Hillary Clinton in the election. How do they like that? I mean, come on. He didn't pardon, he commuted the sentence.
Yeah, there's a difference there.
Right. So, the claim that there's no scandals.
I wonder if Trump can uncommute his sentence, because he's getting out in March.
At this point, why? I mean, you're happy that the sentence got commuted. I'm happy the sentence got commuted. I mean, they got a lot
Because
of
he's a
information.
dick, dude. He doesn't, I'm sure he doesn't like him.
Well, I did a poll on Cowles County News Uncensored and asking if people supported the president's decision in this, and I thought more people were going to say yeah, but I mean, the majority of the people voting in the poll say they don't support it. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, this guy got out all kinds of information that...
Lots of people like being slaves, and they like apparently being spied upon and like being controlled, and think that it's just good to be controlled and spied upon.
Yeah. Well, that
So,
was the
I
Snowden.
mean-
Snowden was the spying stuff, But anyway, President Obama comes out and pardons commutes the sentence of this person today, and Julian or Snowden's doesn't get a pardon.
Yeah, I will.
I don't
I have
understand.
that written down in my list of grievances against the drone president.
No pardon for Snowden.
He hasn't pardoned Snowden yet. That's just quite ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
So what were some of the other grievances you had there?
No, should I start getting into them yet?
Yeah. I mean, how many? I mean, you've got like pages of them. I mean, I'm sure we can't touch all of them.
We
but-
can touch all of them. We will just be having multiple episodes recorded tonight.
Oh, I see how you're doing this.
I see how. You're like,
Uh-huh.
oh.
I gotcha.
I understand. So, I guess my first grievance would be the fact that the president was given a Nobel Peace Prize before he even took office for a speech that he gave about how he was going to be ending the wars that George W. Bush had, quote-unquote, gotten us into or muckled up. And I mean, he was supposed to be the peace president. He got a Nobel Peace Prize before he even got into office and before he even did anything.
Right, and then the next thing he did is he droned all those
And
people.
then the droning starts.
The droning.
And, I mean, he's going out, as far as I'm concerned, as the drone president. He drone striked more people in his first year than George W. Bush did. In all 8 years, he had 563 strikes in his first year of office. George Bush did 57. Now, granted, drones weren't out very much during that time. Don't give a fuck.
Well,
Still,
we've been using drones
the
for a
very
while.
fact that the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is that, George W. Bush
So
drone
you're-
striked Afghanistan and Iraq.
But-
that was it.
but-
Two fucking countries. Okay?
But he also, okay, and you're making me defend some of the stuff. He did get some boots off the ground. He did pull majority of the people out. He just kept droning.
Great. You know what happened with that? A big fucking vacuum, which I'll get down to here. I have this as one of my list of grievances, but a big fucking vacuum that
You
created
should
ISIS.
see it. I mean, he's got, like, the whole page is just plastered with things that he was...
Page.
He's
Page.
got, like, 3 or
Page.
4 pages of,
Page.
like, just complaints against Barack Obama. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, well, people are like, what's your problem with Barack Obama? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm usually like, would you just not pay attention so much that I have to, like, start
Well,
thinking
usually
of all the
the
stuff.
first thing that happens when you start, saying you don't like Barack Obama, then they start thinking
You're
you're
a
a
racist.
racist, and that you can't criticize
Well,
his policy,
He's a
and that-
Muslim communist.
or you
And
don't
he's going
like
to
him
change
because
this
he's-
country into a
or-
Muslim
right.
communist country.
or you don't like him because of the color of his skin. No, we didn't like his
He
policy.
wasn't even born in America.
His policy was all wrong. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's what we didn't like about him. But the other side uses it as racism
He's a-
to keep us
He's
shut
just
up.
nothing but a douchey authoritarian, just like every other president has been since America's been getting presidents. Even George Washington came up with we're going to leave England because we don't want to pay taxes, but the first thing that we're going to do is impose a tax on your whiskey. I mean, there was a whiskey rebellion.
I thought for sure you'd be dumping cannabis in the harbor up there in Olympia by now, with all the taxes on it.
Who's going to do that?
I don't.
That
I
shit's
just,
too expensive. I mean,
At some
you'd
point,
have to
you
go out and
make
rob.
That's the whole point. It's too expensive because of the taxes. I mean, there's heavier taxes on cannabis than. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you go and buy tax cannabis,
Yes, they would have been thrown in the harbor. I'm just saying. I'm surprised
just
I haven't
saying.
seen you do it yet.
a lot of people just go out and buy free market cannabis still, like they did before.
Oh yeah, the free market is alive and strong, dude. You know that. I know that. The state, they don't want to know it, but it's alive. Yeah, that's some free market stuff back here right
Free
now.
market cannabis.
Yeah,
Brought to you by my buddy that I ain't naming.
the Playhouse. Just say the Playhouse.
Shut up.
But anyway.
Okay, so list of countries that President Obama has
Oh
drone
my gosh,
strike.
you got it broken down by country?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if we got a drone, flew over America and started bombing us,
Right.
would you or would you not say we're at war with that country? That country is at least at war with us.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, without asking Congress or getting their approval, America is in exactly 7 fucking wars right now, as far as we're concerned. Like,
We're
pretty
droning,
much,
we're droning 7 countries.
Well, not right now, but over the course of Obama's presidency, we have droned Afghanistan, Pakistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, Iraq, Syria, and if you want to go ahead and count them, since they count themselves and they hold land and they collect taxes and they build roads and shit, you might as well count the Islamic State, which is nestled in there between Syria and Iraq, and they got themselves a country there.
I'm pretty sure they're. And don't
Nobody's
get
gonna reckon.
shocked here, but I'm pretty sure we're using drones on our own country too as well. So I don't know how you want to interpret that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they use drones down there in Oregon when they,
Right. I mean, they used organs down there against the refugee people. And if they used it down there and we know about it, then they're using it and we don't know about it. And that's
Yeah.
the things that Snowden was trying to get out.
When the government murdered Lavoy Finicum, they used a drone to follow his convoy. So
Yeah. Were you surprised when everybody got? I don't think we've talked about the innocent.
no,
Right, since-
we haven't, dude.
No.
Oh, fucking
We-
skeet all over your fucking face, government.
I mean-
I'm sure that just so pissed them off when they came back. Not guilty. They're just probably like, wait, what the fuck? Did that
Hey,
bitch just say?
listen.
Oh my god.
Oregon residents were very clear that they supported the idea of what they were doing. They didn't like how they did it at the refuge, but they didn't want the government involved in their lands.
And they called them terrorists and,
And they-
shit.
you
They,
know-
they went after them too hard.
Right. When it comes down to it, this was their land, and even the people in Portland understood that. Apparently, I mean, I don't know how they put a jury together for this one. Anyway,
That was great, dude.
I mean, but
Great
innocent.
pick, defense attorney
Yeah.
for Lavoy Finicum.
Well,
Not for the.
Thank
for the,
God we got a good jury
Yeah,
that
that was great.
looked at the information. I mean, it was crazy. You guys went down there. You
You're
guys
right.
saw that they weren't, crazy militia
No.
people.
No,
and
I
then
didn't get to see hardly any cool shit. Basically, dude,
There
I
was
saw a
nothing
bunch of
going
people
on.
being cold,
Right.
hanging out. Like that's what it was. Like if I saw a few sidearms,
But no, we haven't talked
So-
about that, so I just
Yeah,
I figured
dude.
I'd bring that up.
not guilty.
yeah,
high
not
five.
guilty. And we like
Because
that kind
liberty.
of stuff there.
Fuck you,
But now they
government.
got
Skeet across
charged
your
with all
face.
kinds of other stuff. But hey,
Yeah, well,
they might beat that too.
that's a tactic that they use. They don't bring all the charges against you all at once in case they fuck it up. Like they must have considered that they did this last time. So
Yeah, they. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Hopefully they'll get off on the thing. But so back to what was he's droned 7 or 8 countries. He's drones on us.
7, 8 if you count us. I guess 9 if you count Islamic State as a country, which I go ahead and count it because they do shit like build roads, collect taxes, and I mean they don't let their girls go to the schools, but they have schools.
You know, they have that episode of Family Guy, you know, where Peter distracts him, saying, "Look, a woman learning." You know, made me think of that when you said that.
Okay, so grievance. We're armed ISIS. We're armed as the Islamic State in Syria by giving the Syrian, I guess he called them rebels, or the moderate rebels is what they called them.
That wouldn't be that whole business in Benghazi that we don't talk about, right?
No.
No? Arming people through Benghazi?
Syria and Libya are not near each other, really.
Right, but they have to have somewhere to hold the gun, you know, and move them
Not
around.
the same shit, though, Chris.
Alright, okay, alright.
You get a fucking map.
How, you know, whatever.
We don't want to get called fake news. Oh, write that down,
fake
shit.
news,
Gotta get
yeah,
fake
fake news. That's definitely a beef. The
Ash-
fake news was
asterisk.
all that stuff that guy got pardoned for today, by the way. Or
Fake
commuted.
news. Okay, so writing that down for later. What's up, dog keeping time?
Yeah, my dogs are in the room.
That noise brought to you by Dogs Keeping Time. Will the drone stop with Trump? Fuck no. That question brought to you by Dave Ivey, which I was going to point out earlier. If you were listening to this, you can go on to the chat
Right.
and ask us
Hi,
specific
Dave.
questions. Yes, you can interact with us through the chat. If you have this downloaded on your phone, there's a little thing.
Move that over here closer, because everybody's like, they can't hear me and I can't scream all night long. It's not going to happen.
Battle voice.
It's kind of difficult, man. Right
Okay.
now. Give me a couple more weeks.
So,
Where'd you
all
go?
right, armed Islamic State in Syria. Yeah, we did that. We gave them a bunch of weapons. We got all interventionists and did the interventionist thing to do, and decided to arm the moderates, who weren't actually moderates. They're a bunch of hardcore dudes with guns now, just
Again,
chopping off heads like motherfuckers on fire.
You're saying that Barack Obama's Middle East, actions may have not made people happy for voting for Hillary because she would just continue it? Is that another reason why they lost the election, because of his foreign policy? Is that fair to say?
I don't think that you can really blame Hillary Clinton losing on Barack Obama's foreign policy.
No,
I mean,
we have to
maybe a little bit.
blame something for Hillary losing. I mean, first it was Russia.
I'll
hacking.
tell you who
But-
I think is.
But see, then we
in
found out
charge of-
Russia really didn't hack us, and
The only thing that they hacked was
the
some-
DNC.
The DNC.
Right. So they didn't hack
And
the
they
elections.
they told us about how they stole the election from Bernie Sanders, which I will get into.
Yeah, because that's one other reason. That's like the main reason the Democrats lost, in my opinion. But we'll get there.
So Bill is saying that he cannot hear us even at max
Yeah. Whatever, Bill.
volume. How about
Dave Ivey is hearing us just fine.
who cares about Hillary? She lost.
Well, because we still have to blame
Yeah,
somebody.
can you hear us, Dave? Who can hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Dave can hear you.
Turn your shit up, Bill. You're deaf.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second.
Oh my gosh, it went red.
Did it go red? What went red?
The bars.
Excellent.
But anyway.
So, we armed ISIS in Syria. The next thing down on the list is bailed out General Motors and Chrysler for $25 billion. The taxpayers was actually who did that. So we gave Chrysler a bunch of money.
I
It
remember.
was actually owned by Fiat now, which is an Italian company.
Well, I guess that worked out good
So-
for the Italians.
Yes, I suppose it did. The national debt is
We went
up
out and bought our
$7
Fords because of
trillion. $7 trillion. That's 7, comma 000, comma 000, comma 000, comma 000.
But we had so many months of private sector job growth.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I do know about the Fast and Furious gun sales to the drug cartels down in Mexico that ended up resulting in some
Now, to
American
be
deaths.
fair, now the liberals will cry, the left will say that it started under George Bush. Yes,
I don't
it
give a
did
fuck.
start under George Bush,
Dude.
but that new president that wasn't
Coulda
supposed to be
stopped
so
it.
violent could have ended that program, but
Could have
he
stopped that shit. He didn't.
Nope.
Um,
No, he didn't.
it's 20 trillion. Well, the number I looked up today was 7 trillion. So there you go. Dude should have invited me. I would have come over and he would have brought Red Hots. Well, fuck, drive over here. Oh, okay. Now we got I actually got a new book today. Somebody bought me this book. It's it's called Free to Choose: A Personal Statement, the classic inquiry into the relationship between freedom and economics. It's written by Milton Friedman, winner of the Nobel Prize.
Dan bought you the book, didn't he?
I ain't gonna say who bought me the book,
It
but
wasn't Dan.
I'm just I opened it up to find a quote from this book to
You
read.
just happened to open it up.
I looked through it a little bit, but I saw this thing marked human freedom, and it's actually going to bring me to my next thing on the list here.
Which is,
Okay. Restrictions on economic freedom inevitably affect freedom in general, even such areas as freedom of speech and the press. Consider the following excerpts from 1977 letter from Lee Grace, then Executive Vice President of an Oil and Gas Association. This is what he wrote with respect to energy legislation. As you know, the real issue, more so than the price per 1,000 cubic feet, is the continuation of the First Amendment of the Constitution, the guarantee of freedom of speech. With increasing regulation, as Big Brother looks closer over our shoulder, we grow timid against speaking out for the truth and our beliefs against falsehoods and wrongdoings. Fear of IRS audits, bureaucratic strangulations, or government harassment is a powerful weapon against freedom of speech. So the next thing on my freaking list, IRS targeted conservative groups under Obama. That was a
Yes,
thing.
they
That was a
did.
thing that he did.
that was new to our nation. That was interesting that we learned it, and that another.
Obviously, it wasn't that new. The dude was warning and talking about it in '77.
And that goes back to the point that everything that Barack Obama and these guys are all doing, it all goes back to Saul Alinsky and all those guys back there.
The who?
Just look up Saul Alinsky.
Yeah, it's not just a problem with Barack Obama. It's every fucking president sucks. The president sucks. I'm gonna write that down under my little list of
Oh,
fucking
no.
T-shirts.
This is another T-shirt coming. T-shirt moment. What's
Okay.
the one I came up with earlier?
Oh, you'll see it on a T-shirt coming soon.
Oh, come on! I came up with it, and I can't remember.
Oh, you don't remember it?
No.
It's just when I think I'm out, they keep
Yeah,
on
yeah,
tagging
okay,
me back.
That's right. That's right.
So, under President Barack Obama, the IRS targeted conservative groups.
Tea Party.
Yeah, well, the Tea Party and I don't know, other groups, conservative groups, probably just Tea Party people that don't like paying taxes. People
No,
that
they went after
realize
businesses,
that
too.
taxation is theft.
They went after the guitar company.
Gibson?
Yeah, for the wood they were using. Remember?
I didn't know that, but that's some bullshit. Why does Gibson?
Well, I don't know if it was Gibson, but one of the guitar companies was importing a certain wood from a certain country, and we had some kind of. I'm just
Oh, okay.
remembering.
There's another little asterisk. Asterisk traded prisoners with ISIS. He traded some prisoners with ISIS or
He gave a bunch of
Al
money.
Qaeda to. He traded three prisoners for that deserter.
Right.
So congratulations on, not dealing with terrorists and actually deciding to deal with the terrorists. We talked about this. Released Chelsea Manning.
Yeah, Chelsea Manning. No, he did that today, and well, I don't know how many people understand who this person was. This is the person that gave WikiLeaks a ton of their information.
Yes.
I mean, he gave them the Iraqi war logs, the Afghan war diary. He gave him all kinds of, drone strike footage, just all kinds of stuff. I mean, this guy was charged with all kinds of things, and he was sentenced to 35 years in prison, and Barack Obama commuted his sentence today.
Good.
And I'm happy he did it too, because
We should know shit.
right. I mean, Snowden and Assange and those guys, we wouldn't know what we know today if it wasn't for all of these people. So, and then this guy, his story just gets weirder and weirder, because when he went into the military, he was a man. And then when he comes out of prison, he's going to be a woman.
He is a woman.
He's a woman. Right. So we paid,
She's a chick.
right. We paid for this guy's sex change while he was in prison. And
Chicks.
we're releasing
paid for the
him.
chick sex change.
But he lost all of his benefits.
She
He
lost.
She. It's confusing. You understand.
Is it confusing for you? She's a
Kinda.
chick now.
Yeah.
Her name's Chelsea.
Right, Chelsea. I said Chelsea. I didn't use the other name. I can't remember what it is. But anyway.
I think I did. I've had a...
But yeah, he partnered.
Angry Orchard.
And,
I'm
you know,
kind
I
of-
threw it. Like I said, I threw a poll up on Cowles County News Uncensored to see what people thought about that and if they supported the president, and they don't. And I'm kind of confused.
Because they don't like the president.
We went over this.
So,
They
the
just-
the
maybe-
president sucks.
Is it
They
the
agree on
leaking
that.
of the information? I mean, everybody was glad to know the information except Hillary Clinton.
A lot of slaves like to think that the other slaves need to stay in their place.
No, I just
They're like,
I have a hard time. I just don't.
You shouldn't have done that.
We do these polls every once in a while online, and sometimes I just get really surprised by the results that we see. It's just crazy. So
another thing that we did, when we elected President Barack Obama was we got our credit rating dropped from AAA down to I assume would be AA. I don't really know what the next lowest thing is down, but
they tried to play it off like it wasn't a big deal,
or
but
that it was probably George
still-
Bush's fault or something like that.
Well, it's
But,
nothing.
like,
It's always somebody else's fault. Don't you get it with them? It's always
Yeah.
somebody else's fault.
they're gonna be
It's
saying like
never their-
Trump walked into a shit show.
Well, they created a shit show for him.
Yes, it's a shit show.
He's
mean,
done
government
everything he
is a
can
shit
on the way
show.
out to assassinate the Trump presidency.
Government's a shit show.
Oh, it
That's
is.
just all there is to it. I mean, period.
Local government's a little bit different,
Another T-shirt.
but
Government's a shit show.
yeah, local government's a little different. But when you get up into like Washington D.C.,
It
those
depends.
guys
No,
are
it
just-
depends, dude. It depends if there's a bunch of turd burglars in there, then it could be a shit show. Like government in Cowles County was a shit show. And then they fired one of the
you know
shit
what?
show actors,
I
and
went to the-
and now it's
the
not.
meeting
Now the
today.
shit show isn't in majority
Right.
anymore.
I went to the meeting, the commissioners' meeting today. You showed up about a half hour after I'd been there, and just listening to some of the things in our county that are going on, it's just, I mean, if everybody were there to hear these things, they would be just dumbfounded by what they're hearing. Somebody did a records request at the county, and it wasn't Curtis Hart. But it was on the purchasing of what the county does, and they compile this information, and our county is a mess in this matter, and it's going to cost us a lot of money for this data mining company. It's going to cost us a ton of money.
Did you see that I did a records request from Longview? Because you can do it online. Oh yeah, I was here when I did it.
Yes,
when I did
you
my
did it
records
from my
request.
computer.
Yeah, I got it the very next day. Like it was all held online, but like I did a records request of all the record requests.
Like, of course I remember. Oh, yeah.
So
So, yeah, Curtis showed up about 35 minutes into it, right? And when he comes in, I don't think Weber was... Commissioner
no, Weber
was-
wasn't in the room.
He had to go make a phone call for some other information to come up in the meeting.
to do some status shit.
So Curtis comes in and sits down between me and Tim Sutton,
Just smelling like freedom,
smelling like freedom. I was like,
free market
you
freedom.
should probably go hang that freedom up. And then the next thing I know, Curtis Hart took off his shirt, and he's wearing an elect Sean Nyman shirt,
Straight up,
sitting straight across from Dennis Weber throughout the entire meeting.
trying to make eye contact. He wouldn't
Yeah.
look at me, but I tried making eye contact with him.
Talk about awkward.
I bet it was awkward for him.
It was awkward for me.
It wasn't
I
awkward
was
for
like,
you?
I was like, oh wow, dude, really?
Yeah, dude, I voted for Sean Nyman.
Ah.
I still think she should be commissioner. I mean, she didn't win, but you know,
That's funny though. So
he's
you
probably
know,
just thinking like, man, fuck you.
But
Like, where's your buddy Mike, bro? I so wish I could have gave him that T-shirt that I wanted to make, but I for some reason I thought that like everybody that like wins office gets in on the 20th. It's not just like the president. Everybody else like it's sooner than that, so I missed my chance. But I wanted to give him a shirt that said like charter members of the I Lost to Arn Mortensen Club, and I was gonna give one to Mike on his last day in office. It would have been fucking great. but I-
According to rumors I heard, you were the reason why he decided to run again. So, but anyway, didn't work out. That's too bad. And now we have new leadership in Cowles County. Joe Gardner is our new county commissioner chair.
That's so great.
He's the guy in charge. He's running the show now.
Joe Gardner is the chair, dude. I bet you that
it's just a fresh look for Cowles County. Young, fresh guy in there. He's a newer guy.
bet you that made Dennis Weber just butthurt as can be.
I watched the meeting from at home, and boy, it was definitely an interesting meeting because he had to nominate himself for vice chair, and then nobody voted. It was very, 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 very awkward.
Nobody voted?
Nobody voted, so he won by
default because he felt like
because
he won.
he said that since nobody else was going to step up and do it, which the only other person would have been Arn, and Arn didn't want to do it. So so he I'll do it. And so neither of the other two commissioners voted for him, but there was really not a vote. I mean, he just won because there was nobody,
Such a douche magoo, dude.
Well, somebody had to do it. I mean, you got three guys up there, and one's already the chair, and you're looking for the vice chair. I mean, what do you do? Nobody nominated nobody.
I mean, what's that say? When the leaders are like, we don't need a leader.
I do notice that in the meetings, his experience shows because he knows how everything is ran. And Joe wasn't there today because he had another meeting for another county department. But so it was just Arn and Dennis and us.
Interesting.
It was. I mean, you got to learn a little bit about it. And what you got going on there? So what's the next thing on your anti-Obama list there?
The next thing on our list is that we are going to play a song, take a break.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start the second portion of the podcast up because we're about out of time for this portion of the
Don't be afraid
podcast.
to send us questions here on Cowles County News Uncensored, the
just
Southwest
direct
Washington's
message us if you
largest
want.
social media site.
I guess it is, isn't it?
It's pretty big.
20,000 members.
I happen to know it's one of the most.
I know
active.
it's bigger than the other one. What's
Yeah.
that one called? It's Cowles County News.
Yeah.
They don't got as many members as Cowles County News
It
Uncensored.
doesn't have to do with membership. It has to do with activity, and I happen to know
No, it has to do with numbers. It's all about numbers. We got more people than Cowles County News. That's all that fucking matters.
I just happen to know that
just to
one
let you know.
site
Doesn't matter where we're from.
has heavy traffic.
What?
So what's the song we're going to be going into? Is this another one of your brother's bands?
Yes,
or-
this is my brother's old band called Lung Invasion. This song is called
Lung
Divided We
Invasion.
Fall. I have permission to use this fucking song.
That
so
sounds gnarly.
There we go.
Lung Invasion.
It's actually about an ant called Siafu, and it is in Africa. It's like a hardcore ant that eats humans by catching motherfuckers sleeping on the ground, crawling in their mouth, and they die
This
from
is not a
asphyxiation.
first world problem.
No, it's not a first world problem at
We don't
all.
need to talk about it.
So this is a song, Divided We Fall, by Lung Invasion, my brother's old band. Go ahead. Listen in here in a bit when I start the next song. Peace out. This is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart.
And Chris Bornstead.
Chris motherfucking Bornstead.
That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. And it is to renew government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most.
And this is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart.
And Chris Bornstead.
And Chris motherfucking Bornstead. And we are back in our second segment of
Drone president.
End of the drone president. President Barack Hussein Obama is out come this Friday. The
Yay!
clown president is in. The hag president didn't win. So that's, I guess, a good thing. I don't actually see a difference between the two. I mean, really, I don't.
Again, I think it's too early.
I just see a bunch of authoritarian statist hacks.
You have your like pages of Trump stuff. I
No,
have,
this is
like,
Obama shit.
Oh, I thought you had some Trump stuff in there too.
I have a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about.
Oh, we're not going to talk about Trump today.
We're going to be talking about Trump a little bit,
Oh, okay.
but like these pages of notes are all about Barack Obama because we are still talking about Barack Obama because he's still the president now.
Right.
There's not a lot to say about President Trump, mainly because he's
Right.
not the president yet.
I can read what I was going to say. I was going to say Trump. We really should wait. At least 104 days because.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You got to give us some time.
Okay,
to
just so
see
y'all
what he
know,
does.
we are going to be live broadcasting our
Maybe.
reaction.
I don't know.
There's
We'll
no
see.
maybe shit. I'll find somebody else. The live broadcast. Well, when Trump gets inaugurated, at least I and somebody else will be smoking some fucking dank freedom.
I'll definitely be smoking dank freedom.
Okay, and live broadcasting our reaction to the shit
not
show.
Sure. I don't think that's going to be a healthy program. I
But-
feel differently about Trump than you do.
It'll be great. So, our second
I wonder
annual.
how many names he's going to call people. It'll be an interesting.
He's just gonna go up there and start firing everybody that he can. He's gonna be like, "You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're all fired."
That's great.
And hopefully, I mean, if he fires people and just gets
See,
rid of the
I will be looking forward to
position
watching
altogether.
the inauguration speech and the riots following.
yes.
Because that's what if you want to go live and talk about something, let's go live and talk about the riots if there are any, and talk about what the fuck is going on with that junk. The inauguration speech, I want to focus on that stuff and listen to what he has to say, and then fucking start talking smack. I want to hear what he says.
I'm gonna be listening.
I'm
to what
willing
he
to
says,
give him a
but
chance. I don't want to sit here. I don't want to watch it and make fun of him. I just want to watch and listen and pay attention to what he says, because listening to what these guys say is important.
It just reminds me
And
of
how they say it.
like, give the new overseer a chance. This one might not be so bad.
Right. Well, I think, like I said, I tell you, I think Republicans and Democrats are going to spend equal amounts of time being pissed at this guy because of the stuff that he does. He is absolutely unpredictable.
Yes.
We do not know anything that he is going to do.
Yeah.
And he has done this on purpose.
He's gonna be great for libertarians and anarchists because he's gonna
the
make
people
people see
around
how
the-
much government sucks a dick.
The people around the world that have been pushing Barack Obama around for the last 8 years are going to go, what the fuck is this guy going to do?
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? I mean, you watch the media with Trump. You know what? I'm gonna tell all you media people out there that are lucky enough to get to ask him a question. If you ask him a dumb question, he's gonna give you a fucking dumb answer. You aren't gonna get a serious one. Okay?
Hey, we're not talking about Trump yet, though.
Okay. All right. Sorry. See, I have shit to say, and you might not like it.
That's fine. We're still airing our grievances against the outgoing slave master.
I'm so happy he's going. Again, not because of it's his policy, man. It's not. What has it done for
It
us?
always sucks when you get a new boss because the new boss could be cool,
You just
could be
don't-
lame.
I see people on both sides blocking the new guy coming in like they did the guy that is leaving. I mean,
Yeah.
there has been no.
They're just
president-
like, oh my
This is
God.
probably my biggest beef with Barack Obama is that in my mind, sitting back, watching, and complaining about things I don't like, he's just divisive, and he does it on purpose. People's like, oh, he's just a great guy. No, he's just a great guy if you get along with what he believes. If you don't, guess what? You're out in the front porch
Wait,
or out in the backyard.
Who are you talking about? Trump
Barack
or
Obama. Barack Obama.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
mean-
realize like that applies to Trump
mean,
also.
he-
I
yeah.
actually literally wasn't positive
Yeah,
who we were
whatever.
talking about.
but you get what I'm saying, right? Is that
They're all the same?
I mean, no.
Is that what your point
no,
is?
No,
That's my point.
I'm watching Trump put together cabinet members from both sides of the aisle. Where Barack Obama
The
surrounded
authoritarian
himself-
aisle.
Yeah.
Big fucking deal.
Listen, again, Barack Obama surrounded himself with people that only believed his way, and so he was.
That's what they all do.
No, that's not all of them. I mean, just
Yes.
no,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yes.
They keep the military
No.
end of this shit.
No.
But, I mean,
No.
Trump's
fire
gonna,
people.
I think Trump's going to surprise
bundle it
people.
up.
But
He's
back
gonna
to Obama.
he's gonna surprise people. But let's get back to our list of grievances
Sorry. Back to
about the outgoing
the
POTUS.
outgoing guy. It's
Okay, so cash for clunkers. Obama,
cash for clunkers.
I forgot to write down the fucking figure on that, but
It didn't work out.
it didn't work out.
No, I remember it didn't work out.
It they gave a bunch of money that they stole from taxpayers to people for their shitty cars,
Right.
to help save the environment.
See, this is where we
How fucking
agree
stupid that
a lot on
sounds.
the things that we need to dwindle down the amount of government involvement in our life and the government involvement into our wallet.
Cash for clunkers is one of them.
Yeah.
Also, Obama phones. That's another asterisk that I have down here.
Now, okay, let's talk about the Obama phones, okay? I have learned, from dealing with the homeless over the last few years, that the Obama phone is one of the good things in the Affordable Care Act because it then gives communication to people that would normally not have it. These people, such as the homeless people, people that are out of contact with their family, can now be back in contact with their family. That's kind of a good thing, and
But not
but
everybody
it
needs
comes, but it comes from government money. So I mean, that gets to the heart of what we don't like is using government money to give to other people that don't have. So it's like
just because you're on food stamps, you don't necessarily need the Obama phone, and that's the only freaking thing that you have to do to get an Obama phone is be on food stamps. Like they used to have the dude standing down there at Walmart, standing there
Right,
slanging
yes.
the Obama phone. They straight up got into a big old fucking argument
I
with
didn't
that dude
argue
one
with
time.
him, but I told him that clearly we both had phones in our hands, But I mean, those guys are like high pressure sales too.
Yeah,
I mean, those aren't sissy lala boys. Those are trained professionals, and they prey on the older people. Yeah, you can get this phone.
I
for
call them
free.
the statist.
Did I say pray? I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I meant help these people.
Yeah. So, when President Barack Obama was running for office, he was like, "Oh, anybody making less than $250,000 a year isn't going to see their tax increase at all." That turned out to be a lie.
We
There you
have,
go.
You know,
My taxes have increased. Everybody's taxes have increased.
our,
It's just
our
been a
taxes
thing.
have increased. Our cost of everything has increased. Our health care premiums have increased. Everything has increased.
Oh, we'll get to that.
And I don't see all these people getting jobs that he talks about. All these private sector jobs. Where are they? Because we aren't seeing them here. Oh wait, no wait. Can private sector get government money? Oh wait, that
No, that's not the way that works.
can't. Yeah, no.
Uh-uh.
But anyway,
So, next thing on the asterisk is Obamacare. I have
Obamacare.
this listen to two different categories. We got mandates and rising costs. Let's go with the whole idea of mandates. Now, this is called Because Liberty. Now,
Let me talk to you about mandates. Okay, the first thing I I'm not a big thrill of the word mandate. You know, when I
Mandates.
hear that, I hear the word force, and then when I hear that it's going to be unfunded force, which means that they're going to force my wallet open and they're just going to take it. So as soon as I hear mandate, and then if I hear unfunded mandate, I become very, very hostile.
Yeah,
I
you're
get
like you're
very
shaking all
angry.
now.
Oh man, I'm telling you. But okay, talk about mandates.
well,
Oh,
it's highly unliberty-like to
Yes.
force people to buy a product from somebody that they
Right.
don't necessarily want or need.
I do
Like,
believe-
I am a fairly healthy individual. I don't really need insurance.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's
I
almost
want
illegal for the government to force us to buy a project.
not now.
Not now, but only when it comes to healthcare.
Well,
Because it's
Dude,
we're meaning to do well, so it's okay to break the constitutional laws.
well, I mean, if you think about it, they're gonna use that as a means to an end to eventually force us to purchase other shit that we don't necessarily want
Right.
to purchase.
Now,
So
if they did something,
they have precedent now under Obamacare for mandates to force people to purchase shit.
right.
So that's how that works. Asterisk
There's
hasn't pardoned fucking Snowden. We might have spoke about this in the last episode, but we're gonna go ahead and speak about it again. President Barack Obama is just such a piece of shit president, and that's just a standalone statement right there.
Well, I just don't understand.
For so many different reasons, and one of the big reasons is that he hasn't pardoned Snowden yet. Like anything other than the fucking, that the Presidential Medal of Freedom that he gave his jerk off buddy Joe Biden.
I looked that up. I had to fact check that.
He should have fucking given that to Edward Snowden with a pardon, and the $500 check saying thanks, dude, and probably the hand job that he fucking owed Joe Biden for that week.
$500.
Seriously.
Did you see the
he
photo?
He hasn't. Yeah, I watched that shit, and then my mom was like, he was one of the best vice presidents that we've had, and I'm like, first of all, what do you even mean? Like, how does that work out? Is that even a thing? The vice president doesn't do shit.
I knew we were in
First
for
of
it.
all,
I've been watching politics for so long, and I remember when Barack Obama was looking at vice presidents and stuff like that. The weekend that he picked it, the media was all camped outside Joe Biden's house, and they were all like, "You're gonna be the guy, right, Joe? You're gonna be the guy." He's out there buying pizza for all the media guys. He comes out Friday night and goes, "Listen, I'm not the guy. I'm not gonna be the vice president. It's not me. I don't know why you guys are all camped out here."
dude's a
And then
douchebag.
Sunday, all his family shows up, right? All his family comes from all over the place. And by Monday morning, Joe Biden's going to be the vice president. He's going to be the pick. He comes out, "Yeah, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the guy." So, Friday night, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it." And then Monday morning, he's like, "Yeah, it's me." What the fuck? Come on, man.
Yeah, they're all liars.
Right.
They
You
all
can't-
suck.
But
It's a
not
good
Arden.
thing that.
I saw Arden was doing our local new commissioner. He's holding up one of his campaign promises to move meeting times. We're seeing some good people.
I loved watching him in that commissioner meeting. It was fucking
I
great.
know,
He's
yeah.
just like, wait, huh?
Well, that
Well,
was me, huh? That was
Yeah, I
me?
didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I was just like, oh my god!
I was wondering. I think
He's like, well, was I supposed to do this and this? Either way, I didn't do it. I was, holy shit, that's great.
I know.
That's how government should work. They should just not. They should just not fucking do shit.
Oh, and then he's got ideas. He got up and offered a new idea today too.
Yeah, that idea was great. We'll
It
get to
was-
that when we
that
get
will-
done with our grievances about Obama.
I think we should save that until we learn a little bit more. I want to.
Before we talk about his idea?
Yeah, I want to see.
It wasn't that, hard of an idea to understand.
No.
The basis of the... I'm not going to fucking wait. The basis of the idea was to say, if you got X amount of money coming in from a private donor, then you need to take what the government's going to be given and minus that amount from how much the government should be given. So in the case of what Kaiser given Love Over Woman, 300 grand, whatever money Love Over Woman's asking the government, they need to ask for 300 grand less because they got that from the private sector.
Yeah, but that's not how they would work. They would take everything that they can get.
If I'm your
And
parent,
that's anybody that's grant sufficient. They're grant dependent.
let's
call it
say
dependent.
my
It's like a
kid,
sickness.
let's say my kid comes and asks me for some money, and I'm like, how much money you got?
Is that free money?
He needs some money.
Is it free money?
There's no money that's free money. It's,
So I'm not going to pay for it. It's coming out of
all
your pocket.
money is fake, and it's just slavery notes.
Slavery notes.
Yes.
Okay, let's not get that high tech yet.
Should we say that for
You might-
another
yeah,
episode?
Their heads might. Some
They're
people
just
out
like,
there
what
head-
is this fake news?
Yeah, they could, like, their head could explode
What
when
the
they
fuck is a
realize the
slavery
money
note?
really isn't backed by anything.
No, it's all fake.
Right. But anyway, so they steal fake money from us too. So.
Freedom.
Anyway, so what's your next? Where were we at?
Let's go to page 2.
Page 2.
2 of 4. Okay, executive orders. Okay, so executive orders are the ways that the president goes around and signs kind of law type things. They're not really laws, but they're executive orders. But they're the same shit. I mean, it affects change in a way that sidesteps the Congress and
I
just
would like
does
to
it.
add that Barack Obama has recently been said that ruling by executive order isn't working out very well for him. Because it can pretty much be undone with another
The next
executive
president
order.
can come in and
Right.
just like undo their shit,
Right.
which is
And-
good because they're not legal in the first place. Well, I mean they're legal,
You've
but
got
they're
some
like
numbers here, and they're really scary numbers on.
they're scary numbers.
There are scary numbers on the increasing. And I'm going to say this by force because when they use an executive order, they're saying we don't give 2 fucks about what anybody says. We're going to do this,
Yeah.
and
It's important to note, though, that like a lot of executive orders just
Right.
affect like federal agencies
sorry about
and
my
stuff.
language and how that came out, but I mean that's just bottom line how that is.
We do internet
Right.
shit.
So if you go back to your numbers here, you go all the way back to the first Bush, right? What was his numbers?
Okay, we got 166 executive orders
For the
signed by
first Bush.
H.W. Bush.
So
Herbert Walker.
things are going okay for America. Americans are still kind of like okay.
Still 166 laws that he didn't ask Congress
We can
about.
all come to agreement here. We can do this. And then we go on.
What do you
to the
mean? We
next
can all
one.
come to an agreement about what?
106. Well, we wait until you
That's
get all the numbers.
166
That's
laws
right, but
that
let's
he didn't ask Congress about.
listen. Let's talk about these numbers that are coming up. I'm trying to look at the bigger
Okay,
picture. I'm
we're
trying to picture how
going
we're
to
going
talk
down
about
here.
another issue here really quickly that I'm going to just
Wait.
bring up here
No.
about standalone statements. When we're talking about a person and how much they suck, we can go ahead and just talk about how much that person sucks. We don't need to compare them to anybody. So Herbert Walker Bush, 166
Right.
executive orders. That's 166 times. He didn't ask the Congress. He
Right.
just went ahead and was like, "Fuck you guys.
Right.
We're gonna do this." So, but Clinton, like, he just went ape shit.
Right. This is my point.
364.
We've just
It
yeah.
makes it seem like Herbert Walker was not that bad.
right.
But still
Okay.
a douche with 166. Even bigger douche with
Right.
364 was
Oh my
Clinton.
god. Yes. Okay. So and then your next guy has, and this is
George W. Bush,
Right.
291.
291.
Yes.
So
So
that's pretty high.
it's pretty high.
Way more than Daddy.
Very much douchey.
Right.
Not quite as douchey as Clinton.
Right.
The president sucks.
So Clinton pretty much.
I mean, unless Obama, signs like
listen.
32 of them tonight,
this
he
is-
ain't going to pass up George W. Because as far as executive orders goes, Obama wasn't as bad as George W. Bush.
Right. But if you look at these numbers, I mean,
The trend is
If
going
you
up
look at
because of
this,
fucking
Clinton-
Clinton.
Clinton had more resistance. Do you understand? More resistance.
It depends on what type of graph you use to look at this shit. If
I'm
you
going
use
off
like
of your graph.
this isn't a graph yet. This is just data. But it's
Okay, I'm going off your data.
if let's go like this. We'll have two
Okay,
different graphs.
throw out both
We have
numbers.
little number here, big huge number here, number here, and number here. So that one looks bad. It's going down though from up here,
Right,
going down. This one here, here, still going up.
But look at the parties.
So-
anyway,
We'll take pictures of those and post them on becauseliberty.org
oh my
if you
God.
want to see
You
that
want me to
shit.
sign that?
You see our little picture of a little graph.
But see, Barack Obama has 260. Is that right?
260,
Right.
which is not as much as George W. Bush.
Right.
So-
And it's not. So he had less
But
resistance.
still
Yeah.
a douche.
He could go to Congress less times and say, okay, I can get this done. But my point is that something. Look at the
364.
364. So he had to go around Congress 364 times to get things done.
He didn't have to. He just did.
He just
Because that's
did.
what presidents do. They suck. They're like, I don't give a fuck about what you guys think.
They
I'm
don't
just gonna
have
do
to. They
this."
don't have to do that though. But
No, they don't
if
have
they want
to.
to further their
If they want to stick to
agenda.
the Constitution,
Right.
they can just do it, by
Right.
asking the Congress to do things and then signing the shit when Congress comes. So, like, all the powers that Trump is going to be having handed to him here come Friday has been presented to him by more than likely Democrats and Republicans.
And,
So-
I have a strong feeling, and don't get me. I'm pretty sure if I had to bet, I bet you that Trump's going to live stream him repealing all kinds of shit on his.
He's just going to be tweeting it.
He's going to be like, "Yep,
He's going to, like, be telling the laws that they're fired.
right." Oh, hey, you guys don't want to come up? No, I don't think that's how it's going to go.
I saw
But-
a meme actually on Facebook that was like kind of scary. It was like Trump telling Congress you're fired,
Yeah,
and like that
that
would
can't
be
happen.
really bad.
Right,
And
yeah.
it seems
No.
like the kind of thing that the average trumpet, like not Republican, but the trumpets that took over the Republican Party,
It's gonna
is
be-
like would support. Like they want Trump to become like their Caesar and make an American empire. This is my problem with Trump.
Yeah, no, we aren't empire ready.
What do you
Trump
mean?
can-
We're already act like an empire. We've drone striked
No, the people.
people. People flew those fucking drones here in America.
Military people under orders flew those drones.
Yes, but like people, we still give the government tax
What
money.
I'm saying
to-
is
to
that clearly our nation
imperialistic.
isn't all ready for the unity, unicorns, and sunshine rainbow stuff just quite yet.
No, I'm not saying that they are.
Yeah, no, but and I don't think Trump can force that either. It's going to be real interesting 4 years. That's all I can say. I can't say 8. because-
Hopefully, all the people in the military remember that the fucking oath that they took when they signed up, foreign and domestic.
It'll be interesting. Oh, stop it. Back to the complaining about the guy who's
Okay. Asterisk. USA Freedom Act replaced the Patriot Act, which wasn't really shit. It's just like it made it so that the companies have to keep your data instead of the government keeping your data. But it's still somebody happened to do some shit to keep our data. We're still getting spied on.
Oh, I'm
They're
sure.
probably listening to this podcast right now.
Oh,
I can only
yeah.
hope.
I'm sure we're high
Or at
priority.
least some fucking government thing is like recording this somewhere.
You did say Obama, and then there was
Obama, terrorist,
then there
drone
was that
strike,
guy
bomb,
that-
terrorist.
Remember the people looking for the Trump hater here in town?
Yeah, people thought that was fucking me.
They did. We all thought it was
Dude,
you.
it was right up the street from my parents' house.
Right, that's why we all thought it was you. We're
This
like,
is
where's Curtis?
we-
Somebody find Curtis. It's gotta be him.
God, I am not stupid enough to say that.
Uh.
Like, I know what you can and can't say.
Oh, it's so funny.
Duh.
Yeah, that's great though that all your friends went right there.
Yeah, everybody that I know fucking... Did you threaten Trump on Twitter?
Did
What
you?
the fuck are you
What are you
talking
talking about?
No.
Jeez, that was funny.
So, asterisk. H.R. 347, the Federal Restricted Buildings and Improvements Act of 2011. Do you know what that is?
NDW, whatever.
No, that's not that. What's up, dog? Keeping time?
She just scratches herself. And,
I know it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I'm just saying,
I'm
what's
sure
up,
the
dog?
listeners-
That's keeping
that's
time.
my
Which
favorite
dog is
dog.
that?
That was Nuka.
Okay.
She's a sweetheart.
So HR 347 is a bill that makes it illegal to protest in certain places if there's a foreign dignitary in a certain area.
Oh, yeah, nice.
It makes it illegal to protest that certain person. So, like, let's say, like, the asshole that's in charge of China shows up to do some shit, and you want to go protest that asshole because his country sucks dick at liberty and sucks dick at human rights, and you don't really know exactly where he's at, but like this is where the protest is supposed to be, and the protest spills into an area that like is technically off limits for some fucking reason.
The people's property.
People's property is going to be off limits to the people for protesting.
That's never cool when they shut our shit down.
Now, this used to be a law that made it so that it was knowingly entering an off-limit area for protest. Okay, they changed that so that they took out the knowingly. So they're just like, if you happen to end up... So you don't get to necessarily know where the Secret Service deemed the area to be off-limits.
Yeah, it's movable.
It used to be fucking, this area's off-limits.
They can literally...
They can just be like, that area's off-limits, and we'll just wait till somebody enters that
I
shit.
read some of this. They can pretty much bust out the yellow tape and orange cones and tape off whatever they want, as long as it's, within the parameters of the law.
So this has been always one of my go-to things when people, mainly liberals, are like, what's your problem with Barack Obama? Because I used to be a big dumb fucking liberal. I used to be super anti-war. I'm super anti-war. I don't like fucking war. And I don't like the government telling me what to do. But I used to be a big fucking douchey liberal socialist.
I don't like war either, but if you fuck with us, we're going to squash it. I mean...
You gotta be actually fucked with.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. But
So,
if you actually fuck with us, we're going to squash you.
when Barack Obama didn't,
That's
it's just
that's
like...
okay, right?
Okay,
That's still okay?
Yeah, this asterisk down here is another one asterisk down here. But when Barack Obama didn't get rid of fucking Gitmo and close that shit like he fucking said he was going to.
Again, I am not a fan of defending Barack Obama. But when people run for office,
But
they say
here's the
all
part where he's
kinds of
gonna...
things.
The but is where he defends
Listen,
Barack Obama. Listen to this.
And I would do this for anybody. When you are running for office,
You lie.
and you that high of an office, you do not have all of the information. There is still information that you don't get until you become president of the United States.
Don't give a fuck. But
Okay. So when he became president and he sat down and said, "We're gonna fucking close this place," they were like, "We can't. There's nowhere to send them. Nobody is going to take them. We can't send them anywhere. We can't bring them to the mainland. People will have a heart attack." So he couldn't close it. There's no way that he could close Gitmo. He just can't.
Drop him off in Antarctica.
Well, no.
Boom.
But what I'm saying is that when he got elected, the realization that he couldn't do that, and again, I'm not necessarily defending him. I'm just saying that he didn't have all the information when he was making.
Here's the thing: the issue that with Gitmo is if they haven't been given a trial.
That goes back to these things.
To these things,
Yes.
They need to be given a trial.
Right, and that goes back to
As
these things. Is that because of these things, we
got
can
some
now
dirt on the
send them to
motherfucker.
Gitmo forever.
Yeah, like if they got some shit on them and they get found guilty for fucking ever, send them up forever.
Right.
Boom, issue
Yeah.
taken care of. If they don't got the dirt on them and can't prove that shit, then they need to let the motherfuckers go. Well, you know what? Actually, there's an
did
issue
let
now.
some go.
Now they're going to be fucking terrorists because
He-
they've been sitting in Gitmo for
Right.
too damn long.
Lot
Had
of-
they been fucking innocent
Right,
before they
quite
ended.
a few of the people that they release go right back out and they start getting right back into terrorism. That was an argument.
Well, even if they weren't really actually
I
into
mean,
terrorism before, they definitely are now.
Well, yes, the bombs don't help.
The bombs don't help. The drones don't help.
The drones don't help.
The fucking constant droning every
See,
day.
with the
since
drone
it's been-
strike,
boom,
you know,
boom, boom.
the difference
boom,
between
boom.
boots on the ground and drone strike is boots on the grounds can go in and assess the situation to see that there's people that are collateral damage and not have to kill them.
They're like, ooh, a wedding.
Yeah, we don't want to do this right now, you guys. A drone, they're just gonna drop the bomb and everybody in that blast zone's. Oops.
Like,
Sorry.
when you drone strike a wedding, you exponentially grow the number of terrorists in the area. It's everybody that didn't die in the fucking drone strike, pretty much.
Right.
I would just assume that's a generalization, but it's a pretty safe generalization to make. I would also assume that's another assumption I'm making here. So, where's the next asterisk on my list? Oh, one of the other go-to thing that when the fucking liberals ask me, "What's your problem with Barack Obama? You must be a racist." Like, so when I became a libertarian, I didn't know what I was, but I knew that I wasn't a Democrat because these fucking assholes kept on defending Barack Obama as he was doing all the stupid shit that he was doing. And one of the stupid fucking things that he did was the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act of 2011. And that makes it so the government can lock you up forever. It's indefinite detention of
They
U.S.
can lock you up forever in Gitmo.
Yeah, or wherever the fuck they want.
Right.
It's
But it's Gitmo.
it's the indefinite detention of U.S. civilians by the U.S. military. It's getting rid of what was known as a posse comitatus, which was a legal definition of the word, making it basically saying that the military can't intervene on like U.S. soil for stuff, for civilian matters, or police. They are now. Thanks, Obama.
This is one of my complaints with the police. I have very few, is that they've become pretty militarized, man. They look pretty scary out there.
Yeah, I would say that like the best way to not be afraid of the police is to go meet them.
Right. Oh, and again, don't break the law.
I mean, that's if you can help it.
Right.
But like sometimes, in my case, I act like a free motherfucker.
Right.
So like I'm not positive of exactly like what is legal and what isn't legal. I usually don't like worry about it if it's illegal because I'm a good person in general.
I can't.
So like my moral set of values have pretty much line up with what the state says to do. Generally, I tend to drive slower than what the state says is the maximum amount of speed limit.
Why?
Because I don't feel like going that fast.
I would like to go whatever speed I want to go, and I feel.
I do go. I definitely go whatever speed I fucking want to go. It's just
we're going to talk about
I'm a
free
slow
reign,
driver.
Man. I'll go as fast as I feel.
I don't
comfortable.
necessarily wait for every single red light to turn green. I mean, sometimes if there ain't nobody around, then I just go. I mean, I come to a complete stop. I treat it like a four-way stop. Rebel. I know.
Yeah,
I mean, since they made weed legal, like I don't do anything illegal anymore, really.
Isn't that amazing?
For the most part,
they legalized cannabis and all.
They kind of legalized cannabis.
But they kind of legalized cannabis, and then all these wonderful, neat people came out of the woodwork and are able to be,
employed,
and
they got jobs,
be in government and all kinds of fun things. Oh yeah, government, like they don't smoke it.
Yeah. I know
man.
at least one person in government that smokes.
I know a couple.
I know of one. So NDAA, indefinite detention, and a lot of times like liberals will make up excuses for the NDAA and the HR 347, which the argument that they use against HR 347 is that they don't mind. That's a lot of times that their argument against things is that they don't mind. Which is part of the problem that I have with liberal pussy douchebags is that they don't mind that the government is taking up their rights when they assume that it's their side that is in charge. But when somebody like Trump comes in charge, all of a sudden it's the end of the fucking world.
I gotta ask, I'm not a big fan of liberals either, but I don't call them like douchebags or stuff like that. But you have liberal friends and.
They're not douchebags. They're not the douchebags I'm talking about.
They're the But no, how do they react to some of the things that you say? Though, have they ever asked you or talked to you about it? And
told me to tone it back?
Yeah.
I don't like being told to tone it back.
Well, yes, and again, I am Chris Bornstead, and this is Curtis Hart, and I can't stop him from saying anything, and he can't stop me from saying anything. I just threw 2 empties away.
Oh, okay, that's what went down. I was like, what happened to my beer?
Yeah, it was gone, dude. So, no, I was just curious on how they react to, because it's not really that it's their policy.
I think my liberal friends know
It's
that,
their
like,
policy
I
that
used
we
to be a
don't
liberal, and it annoyed me to no end that I would hear excuses from other liberals for Barack Obama and his authoritarianism, and that's how I basically figured out that I was a libertarian.
Well, I just don't...
Because I was like, I knew I wasn't Republican.
I think that people are some people consider disliking their policy as hate for them, and that's not what it is. We definitely hate your policy. We find it actually kind of repugnant. But that doesn't mean that we don't like you as a person. So...
That was definitely like one of the first. That was one of the things that drove me away from the Democrat Party was their assuming that I was a racist
Right.
and a Republican whenever I would criticize Obama when he took office. Like,
It's
he
kinda
was
scary
still
to
doing the
s-
same
yeah.
shit that Bush was doing.
It's also
Like the
kinda-
same
yeah.
exact shit. And I would like call him on his shit on the Facebook. Like I got the Facebook when Barack Obama became president, and I would call him on his shit, and my friends would just be like, "Oh, you must be a fucking teabagger, or a Republican,
Yeah,
or
I've been called
you
a
are a
teabagger several
racist."
times, and I was never
blah,
a
blah,
Tea
blah.
Party
I'm like,
person.
yeah,
Never. I
fuck
was
you
never a
talking
Tea Party.
So let's go down to the next. Gitmo still open.
Gitmo still open,
covered
yeah.
that.
Gitmo's gonna be open for a while.
Asterisk. Bradley Chelsea Manning still got let go. Like, I wrote that down twice. So
Yeah, she gets out on the 17th.
Then we got
in
the-
May or March or something like that.
yeah, March. So who knows? Like, I don't know. Trump might just come in and be like, you know what, you're fired, and fucking reverse that. I don't know if that's a thing that he can do.
But again,
I don't know.
I don't think he.
It would save the government some fucking money if they kicked him out.
It would be like.
Make him go get a job, be a
He's
taxpaying
not,
citizen.
he lost everything. He gets none of his military money. He's getting nothing.
I'm not talking about
I mean,
that.
she.
I'm just talking
What are we
about. Yeah, we're talking about her,
Yeah,
Chelsea
sorry.
Manning.
I,
She needs to not be in prison.
right.
She needs to be out.
Right.
And I guess if they're going to be taking money from all of us, they need to be taking the money from her.
Yeah,
That just sounds really awful.
she gets nothing.
I wish everybody was getting socked by the bully instead of just me.
Hey,
So,
everybody
now-
wants equality, right?
Now we're
That
down
includes
to
bully action.
the asterisk for Chris's grievances.
My grievances.
Okay, but how many pages of grievances you got? Because we
I
got
don't-
9 minutes left on this segment.
I don't have pages of grievance.
You got a
I
bunch
just-
of pages there.
Yeah, but this
Got
is all
shit
kinds
right
of
now.
stuff. My grievances is pretty much election stuff and his impact on the election, and it's not. I mean, I'm just happy he's gone. I mean, everybody knows that we are not fans of his policy, and that's pretty much all of it.
I'm not a fan of presidents.
So, I mean, I'm watching and reading and stuff like that. I do a lot of that online. And if they actually do strip away the Affordable Care Act, he's not going to be left with much of a presidency. I mean, he hasn't done that much.
Well, I mean, what he's going to be left with is being known as the drone president, like the name of this episode,
That-
Because Liberty with Curtis
He
Hart.
will be known as the drone president.
And
until-
Chris motherfucking Bornstead,
Right, yeah.
which this episode will be able to be found on becauseliberty.org.
And,
That's a thing.
right, it's also on Cows County News Uncensored.
You can find it on the Facebook and
You
on
can find it
Spreaker
on the Facebook.
and on Spreaker and whatnot, but you'll also be able to find it on becauseliberty.org. Which I
Okay, you
strongly
want my
suggest you to
grievances?
go.
I think I touched on it a little
Well, I
bit.
think we got 8 minutes left,
Right,
and I'm
okay.
going to go ahead and play this song here
Aw.
in like 3 minutes. So we're going to be
I have
hitting
3
on.
minutes.
No, we're just going to be. I mean, I got 2 more pages of stuff here of other shit. So we're going to be just having another segment here in about a few minutes. So, yes, to wrap up really quickly, my grievances with the presidents, the 2 big ones would be definitely the National Defense Authorization Act, which is indefinite detentions of U.S. civilians by the military. So, like, they can just say you're a fucking terrorist. They come and snatch you up, not give you a trial ever. You don't get a fucking phone call. You don't get any of your goddamn civil rights. You're just fucked. You're taking some fucking prisoner somewhere and cornholed by the fucking government forever and ever.
Yeah.
And your family doesn't even have to necessarily know where the fuck you're at. You just disappeared. Seems like you're a deadbeat dad or some shit like that.
I think my top 2 grievances are with President Obama is he's very divisive. You know, like I said, very divisive president. Unless you believed he does in what he did, he wanted nothing to do with you. And the fact that he allowed his party and during a presidential election, I mean, all this nonsense. I mean, Benghazi and data leaks.
We're going to
And-
hit that up during your
I
grievance
mean,
section. But
he allowed the Democratic Party to get caught cheating in the presidential primary,
Well, that-
cheating Bernie Sanders.
That's
out of
hardly
the
him.
money. No. He allowed it. He is the leader of the Democratic Party.
That's not the way it works.
He is the leader. He is the top guy. He's the top
No.
Democrat. He could have
He's
said,
the-
"You guys need to shut this shit down now." and he didn't. They got caught cheating.
He doesn't necessarily know about it happening.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
You're agreeing.
Politics is by design. It doesn't happen by
Those are some
accident.
tarded ass grievances. Like your grievance with him is the shit that he did on his way out, and I do agree. It was very divisive. Like we did see the rise of, you
No,
know,
it doesn't matter.
the Black
It doesn't
Lives Matter
matter.
movement
It's
under
divisive.
Barack Obama.
When you say you
So-
will not alter off of this position, that is divisive. That is not allowing for compromise. That is dividing. That is not bringing anybody together. And that's how he did his presidency.
So go ahead and tune in to the next episode of Because Liberty with Curtis Hart
And Chris Bornstead.
and Chris motherfucking Bornstead. Here in just a minute, we are going to be listening to another song by my brother's old band, Lung Invasion. This song is called Howitzer. If you listen closely enough, you can hear the sound of a howitzer shell that got used in Afghanistan. Don't know who it killed, but probably somebody bad. Play the fucking song.
Now
That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. And it institutes new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most.
And this is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart.
And Chris Bornstead.
And Chris motherfucking Bornstead, and this is episode 3, or part 3 of the end of the drone POTUS, which is that would be Barack Hussein Obama. Fortunately for him, I guess. I don't know if it's unfortunately.
I can't believe it's been 8 years.
8 fucking years.
8 years.
Of this,
just
like,
being
this asshole
beaten into the ground.
just droning brown people all over the fucking planet.
Well, he really is just repressive all the way around. I mean, even to his own people. I mean...
Yes, I mean, like, besides all of the grievances we had listed in the other 2 episodes, the 45-minute long segments of Curtis bitching about Obama, you brought up your main 2. My main 2, you only let me speak to 1, but my main 2
sorry.
was...
You said we only had so much time.
Yes.
Okay.
So my main 2 would be the National Defense Authorization Act, also known as the NDAA. It was passed in 2011. It makes it legal for the government to lock your ass up and fucking just you're never heard from again. And it basically just completely suspends your constitutional rights. It's fucked. And President Barack Obama signed that shit. So that right there is treasonous as far as I'm concerned. If you took an oath to protect the Constitution and you signed that shit, that's just some treasonous shit as far as I'm concerned. The other thing that I had a problem with was H.R. 347, which is a bill that made it illegal to protest in certain parts.
This is all mashed into the defense bill. A lot of this stuff was. I'm pretty sure.
These are 2 different things. H.R. 347 was not part of NDA. It could have been part of NDA. I'm not really positive. I don't know.
I think it was all in...
If it is, somebody looked that shit up and
I think
tell
it was
us.
all in the Defense Act. They just mash all these bills together, and this is how they do things in Washington, D.C. They take a whole bunch of bills, and they put them in the...
Yeah, but this is an act, and this is an act. 2 different things.
Yeah.
Just happened in the same year. Know what I'm saying? This is the Federal Restricted Buildings and Improvements Act of 2011, and this is the National Defense Authorization Act of 2011.
Yeah, okay.
Two different fuck yous.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's 2 different rapings of your liberties.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because you said so. And
because you said so. Like I didn't say
because
that.
you said so.
Curtis said that. So those are my 2 complaints about Obama.
Right. Mine were the divisiveness, and what was the other one? He pretty much allowed just all kinds of whacked out stuff in
the election.
Yeah, you said you don't. He.
But you didn't want Hillary Clinton to be the president. So
No,
what
I
was
didn't,
the
but-
problem with him bungling up?
Well, because
And I don't even think that's that's hardly an issue for me. Is
not for you.
I don't even
It's
think
it's a little quick thing that I
the
have.
president's not in
when
charge of the DNC.
when you are a leader, you have to step forward and say, "Hey, children, you guys. I mean, come on, you guys are getting caught cheating here." Once I got caught cheating, I mean, at that point, Hillary should have been yanked from the running, and they should have went with Biden or anybody else. But they didn't. They just rammed Hillary's down everybody's throat. I mean, everybody. I honestly believe that if it would have been Trump and Bernie Sanders, it would have been a very interesting race, because that's what everybody wanted. They didn't want Hillary Clinton. That was pretty clear.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
you thought it was, but then who knows exactly what happened? Some kind of wonky shit.
Oh, you mean the Democrats being hacked?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the hacking that we're talking about. Okay.
Everybody talk about the Russians hacked our elections.
Okay, this is what
The
was
Russians
hacked.
didn't hack the fucking
They
election.
didn't
box.
hack the elections. They hacked the Democratic Party.
The Democratic
They tried-
National Committee is exactly.
They
what
tried to hack the Republican Party, but the Republican Party had strong enough defense mechanisms in place.
Trump was like,
not to be hacked.
I
Not
said
Trump.
that they want.
Not Trump. The Republican Party, not That's completely.
You know, he
those
took
guys are-
he took credit for it. I heard him talking about it.
Well,
He is like, I wanted to have strong internet
that's
security
in his. No, that's in his stuff.
in his campaign.
Yeah, that we're talking the Republican Party. The Democratic
Still
Party
douche.
is what got hacked. They allowed themselves to get hacked. This goes back to data breaches underneath President Obama. I mean, they you know, come on. None of that. Yeah, those were my two beefs. Curtis doesn't understand one of my beefs. That's okay. It's just a personal thing. When you're a leader, you have to lead. You have, even when you guys are wrong, you have to step up and say, "You guys are wrong."
President's a puppet.
Again, he's a figurehead, and he still is a leader. This is part of the reason why Hillary Clinton lost. Is she's not a strong leader. She is a corrupt politician, and people knew that. Our nation,
She
after
was an
8
evil
years,
hag that was part of a high-ranking coven of witches.
our nation, after 8 years of having a weak president,
She
wanted a
sacrificed
strong
babies.
leader. And here's this Donald Trump guy who's just loud and boisterous and telling government, you know what, your days are numbered. Of course that was attractive to the United States person. The other person was Hillary. But that's my beef. I believe that the election could have gone differently for the Democrats if Obama would have showed better leadership and said, you guys got to quit, you know. It was clear. It was clear that nobody wanted Hillary, and it turned out that way at the polls.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand.
I was so
she-
surprised
right,
that
and you gotta understand,
Trump won. I was
they
like, what?
they tout the popular vote, but if you look at the map,
They're
and
like, oh, the popular vote.
Yeah.
Like, oh, read the Constitution,
No,
bitches.
not the popular vote. You're talking. I mean, if that again, if you do away with the electoral college, California and New York and Florida are going to decide our
Like,
election.
it's cute how they think that they have a say. Plebes. You're a bunch of fucking plebes if you think you have a say. You're a bunch of slaves trying to pick a slave master. They're like, oh, which slave master would treat us the best? Well, I like, or which overseer, actually.
Right.
I like the slave
You
master.
gotta look at. You
It's
gotta
not
look
like
at
Barack Obama's the slave master.
Look at it from the Bernie.
That would be the
Sanders-
banksters that are
Look
the
at
slave
it, yeah,
masters.
look at it from the Bernie Sanders guys. You know, they got burned by somebody on their own side. You know, and they were just angry. They
That's
weren't-
socialism for
Yeah.
you. I mean,
They were angry that Bernie Sanders got cheated, and they didn't show up for Hillary because of it. The left, the liberals.
yeah, they fucked everything up by picking out Hillary Clinton to run against Trump.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So,
but,
like,
I mean,
liberals really need to thank themselves for that shit.
well, that
give
just
yourself
8
a round of
years
applause.
forceful policy, man.
Like, sucks to still be on that team. I bet that it sucks. It sucks because they're all like, yeah,
So, what do you,
gung-ho.
so your thoughts on the Russians? You don't listen. When I
My
grew up,
thoughts
listen.
on Russia is fuck Russia,
Hey,
dude.
millennials, I grew up. I was born in '73, and I grew up, you know, throughout the '70s and the '80s. So I still remember some of the Cold War, and you guys have forgotten. Russia. I don't view them as an enemy, but everybody else apparently seems to because they hacked the elections. But going back to growing up, these nations. We've always interfered with other nations' elections, just as they have always interfered in ours.
So
Is-
doesn't make it okay.
Right, but I'm just saying this is nothing new. This has been going on for a long time. I'm talking to the people that aren't used to the Cold War, that weren't around. You know, they don't understand the Russia was the bad guy. They
Russia's the bad guy.
You know, they don't get that. I mean, oh, you want a bad guy? We'll make it Russia. You know, the Democrats absolutely
Russia's
laughed.
the bad guy because the people that are in charge of Russia used to work for the KGB, which was the fucking secret police
Yes,
of the
yeah.
communists.
Strong mob ties. You know.
Communists.
Russian mob. But anyway, you know, again, they made the Russians the bad guys.
The Russians made themselves the bad guys by being communists, and then
No, no, no,
allowing
I'm
their
talking about-
communist ex-leaders to become their leaders that were elected.
Anyway, Russia they didn't even influence our elections. I don't believe they did it at all.
I mean, fuck Russia just for invading Crimea.
Right.
I mean, there you go.
But
Fuck Russia.
what I'm saying is that
That's why we need to not like Russia.
their
Fuck them.
argument that Hillary lost because the Russians hacked
the
our
election.
election.
Yeah, they
which
make it
wasn't the
sound like
election.
Russians like hacked our fucking electronic
No.
voting machines and changed the
No,
outcome.
Hillary lost because
No.
she was a corrupt politician.
Hillary lost because they picked Hillary.
Yeah.
Like
Everybody knew she
if
was
them
Trump.
liberals wanted a woman president, they could have picked Elizabeth Warren, but they didn't. They picked Hillary Clinton. Oh yeah, that brings me to one of my other asterisks. Somewhere
I am
along
glad
here.
that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is done now. Got caught cheating.
So one of my things about Hillary Clinton running for president is that a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's got so many qualifications," and like her qualifications was basically like she spent so much time in government, but like a big portion of her time in government was just being married to fucking Bill Clinton. And just because you fuck somebody, it doesn't mean you're qualified to do their job. Like, are you qualified to do the job that your wife does?
No.
There you go. Like, why not?
Well, because I haven't been trained to do her job.
There you go. Like, you don't just know how to do her job through osmosis.
Listen. They left the White
it?
House.
Osmosis?
Yeah. They left the White House. They stripped the White House of just about everything they could. She carpet-bagged her way into New York. Oh, I'm a citizen of New York after never living there, really. But, you know.
I know, for real.
So
How are
she
you a
carpet-
fucking citizen of
and
New
they-
York
they
when you've been
made
living in
her
the
a
White House?
senator, and, you know, as a senator, she was like, yeah, you know. And, you know, as a president, yeah, what difference does it make? I mean, come on. That was her, bottom line excuse on Benghazi. Yeah, what difference does it make?
She's like, she doesn't give a
We
fuck.
lost
dude.
a freaking ambassador, and in my opinion, some very heroic fucking men.
Well,
And it pisses me off, and it pissed America off when she said, what difference does it make now? It could have made a big difference, and that was your fucking job, and you didn't do it. You
well,
weren't ready for it, and that made America mad. Man, America was very mad about Benghazi.
we
Whether
shouldn't have
they
been in Benghazi in the first place.
Right.
We don't need embassies all over the
makes-
fucking place.
Yeah. And anyway,
You're like, yeah.
when we talk about Benghazi, I get pissed. People give her a free pass. Well, she didn't do anything wrong. Oh, bullshit. Getting her, stuff hacked. Oh, there goes the sickness. But anyway, where were you?
We're still waiting for your grievances.
No, that's pretty much it.
So your problems with Barack Obama is that he caused divisive.
Listen, I don't really care
decisiveness.
about it right now because I'm more concerned about what was
But
going
this
to happen.
this is the episode where we're airing the grievances about Obama.
I don't care anymore.
You just don't give a fuck.
I don't.
You're like, I don't give a
Fuck.
No, we're done.
Okay.
You know,
I would
listen,
like to point out that
I would like
your,
to talk about. Oh, thanks.
I wasn't talking about your beard.
Oh,
Like, you have a dank beard. I'll give you that. I was just also take a stroke in my beard.
yes.
Sitting here, it's my plotting look. This is what I do when I plot. Your comment about Obama being divisive. Yeah, we did see the rise of Black Lives Matter movement under Barack Obama. That wasn't a thing that was out there before. Like, cops
I-
were still shooting black people under
I
George
honestly
Bush.
believe that,
you know?
that was all political moves.
Yeah.
All political posturing.
Uh-huh.
All lives matter. It doesn't matter what color the life is. Everybody matters.
Fucking nobody matters.
Well, if you can look
No
at it that
lives
way
matter.
too, nobody gives a shit, right? But no,
They don't give a fuck about you. Like, that's a direct quote from George Carlin. If you think they give a fuck about you, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't. So quit thinking that they do. Quit fucking voting and encouraging them to butt fuck you and come steal all your shit because the government sucks. You're all fucking doomed if you think that, like, anybody's going to come and solve your problems if they have anything to do with the government. Because if it was a good idea, they wouldn't need to do it
I think
through force.
it really sucks because knowing people in government, you get to know them.
Those guys ain't so bad.
A lot of them are good people, but it's like I said, it's all policy, it's all ideals. I mean,
It's all shit that comes from somewhere else. Like, a lot of these stupid
Right.
ideas that we get are, like, given to us from Olympia.
right.
And a lot of
A
this
lot of it's
stupid ideas, they
mandated
got to be
down.
coming from somewhere. Like, people say that like central planning isn't a thing, but the fuck it ain't.
No, that's a real thing.
That's
I
totally
thought
a thing.
you guys
Go-
were all. I thought all you Agenda
We're just
21
all
people were
wearing
just
fucking
whacked
foil
out.
hats.
Yeah, I thought you guys were all crazy, but it turns out,
No, you just pay attention and like
If you
ask
go to-
you where'd you get that idea?
If
Where
you
did that
go and sit at the
particular
government
idea come
meetings,
from?
this is basically what's going on.
It's all a bunch of Agenda 21
They're
shit.
telling us what we can do with our shoreline. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, make us sound crazy.
you
'cause
should have
we're-
heard, the crap you have to go through if you want to put a dock in down in Woodland. I mean, shoreline management stuff. I mean, just
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous. And it's all restrictive stuff. It's crazy.
It's got to flow with the plan for the state.
Right. Yeah,
So you gotta the lady that is trying to get the fence around the park. I told her just do it. Just do it in the middle of the
Well,
night.
they-
Get your shit together. Just
that's
do it in the middle of
Kamala
the night.
Sutton, but
Yeah.
they
And then
the
like,
city's
dude,
giving her the runaround, and
she's
I-
finding out how much government fucking sucks.
Well,
I told her when she
I
said
don't
out.
understand. I don't understand why the city council would fight, private funding being raised to put in a fence so that people feel safer.
Because they have to make it align with their comprehensive plan. They
Well,
have
no.
to have the parks plan has
They
to
have
be
no
updated.
parks plan.
They have no parks
Okay,
plan.
if you have no parks plan, then how did we get a spray park
Let's be like,
In-
do it up,
where there's a spray park now? How did they get that done?
dude. I guarantee if they just get the money, go down to like Home Depot, hire some dudes standing outside,
Well, I think that if they
be
if
like, this
people-
project must get done tonight.
listen,
And just have some dudes go out there with a
I
bunch
think
of
that if
orange
they-
vests
if
and some
shit-
hard hats and just go fucking do it up really quick like you're supposed to be doing it. Nobody's gonna like know whether or
For
not to
some
stop it.
reason, I get the vibe that even if she walked in there with a check that would fully fund it, they would still fight her on putting the fence up, and I don't know why.
Because it's the government. The government fucking sucks.
But
That's what they do.
But I'm
They're
asking
like
for
ticks
what possible reason can
and
you
leeches.
see? I mean, it's not part
It's
of the parks
politics.
plan. It's just
Many blood sucking ticks. Politics.
I mean, we just want to build a fence.
Yeah.
For safety.
They're like, fuck you. It's not part of the plan. We got to come up with a plan. And the next time we come up with a plan is in like 6 months because we're the government and we're rolling out the red tape. Government fucking sucks. Like, you shouldn't even look to the government for the solution. I told her not to even ask for fucking permission.
Well,
But,
I mean,
like, my buddy Zach
again,
Banks
not
said...
everybody is a radical.
My buddy Zach
anarchist
Banks
like you.
gave me one of the best quotes I've ever fucking heard ever, and he said, "You don't fucking need permission." And like, if she would have just hired some dudes to do it, say the job has to be done tonight, or you ain't getting paid. Boom, put that shit in. Just wear some hard hats
Yes.
and some orange
Listen,
vests.
I
Act like you
understand
just do
that
it.
your buddies in a 6-pack could have it done in a day. I get it, right?
I ain't trying
But-
to do that. I don't even think that the park should have the fence. I was
But-
against the fence in the first place because I said it wasn't going to help. I'd also like to point that out. But I told her, like, if you're going to put the fence
Do you
up,
guys not get it? It's the idea that if we put the fence up,
fence ain't
people
going to
feel
keep
people-
people out, dude.
people feel safer.
They do feel
It's
safer.
They feel safer.
Fences
What's up?
and walls
if
ain't going to
you
make
don't,
do
hey,
shit.
listen, you guys throw
Some
this
junk
at me.
is gonna
You
be
guys
sitting
throw
up
this
against
shit at
that
me all the
fence.
time. What difference does it make if you're not paying for it? If it's privately funded, what difference does it make?
So,
Come on. So, if some citizens want to come together and put up a fence, seriously, what's wrong with that?
what was
Just
my
let-
problem with it?
Yeah,
Because the problem, like, they thought that the fence was going to keep the needles out of the park and shit. But, like, honestly, if you're a junkie shooting up there in that particular spot and there's a fence, unless it's a wood fence that you can't see through at all, what better way to say that that needle ain't yours? It's not within your reach if you stick it on the other side of the fence. Boom. That needle ain't mine. It's over there. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And the cop wouldn't even be able to go over there, really, and look because there's a fucking fence in the way. So I don't think that it's necessarily going to make people safer. It will make them appear safer and feel safer. But like walls and fences don't do shit because anybody that's wanting to get around a wall or a fence is more than likely and determined to be able to do it. So we'll go ahead and change pages now.
This is on to Trump. Is this the Trump page?
This is kind of like, okay, so
It's not the Trump page.
been hearing a lot of things about people like flipping the fuck out that the Republicans are going to be repealing Obamacare, which Obamacare requires a mandate to purchase something.
Right.
So fuck that. And so, what I would say to the people that have an issue with Republicans getting ready to gut and repeal Obamacare is that if you didn't want Republicans to repeal Obamacare, then y'all probably shouldn't have let the DNC butt fuck y'all and hand the election to Trump, because what were the moderates supposed to do? Vote for a criminal or vote for some asshole?
Right, but
I mean, seriously. She was a hag. Her and her husband bombed a bunch of Infamil factories overseas. Do you know how many babies died under Bill Clinton's bombings?
I have no clue.
Huffman knows.
Huffman knows.
Huffman knows that shit.
Huffman knows the Clintons.
Yeah. She's a witch. She was a witch in Highway to Carbon.
He knows a lot about them. He's done a lot of research on those guys. So you
So
were going to talk about...
they did DNC stealing the elections. Okay, we covered this earlier. Standalone statements. If I say X sucks, it means X sucks. It doesn't mean that like I would have necessarily thought that Y would have been a better choice. If I say X sucks, X sucks. Y probably also would have sucked, but we're not talking about Y. Does that make sense?
No.
So if I say Trump sucks. The argument that, well, yeah, Hillary would have blah, 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 blah.
But I can say Hillary sucks too.
Hillary does suck too. But it's not, basically it's an invalid argument against Trump sucking. Because no matter how much Hillary sucks, Trump sucks.
But we don't know because he hasn't done anything yet but save jobs.
What jobs?
He saved the air conditioner jobs.
How did he
saved some
save
other
the air
jobs.
conditioner jobs?
I don't know. You went and met with him and they worked out some kind of deal. He did it with 2 different companies. I mean, it was all over the news. I mean, he did this shit in his fucking time off, Curtis. I mean, he's not even president yet. He's out there saving these jobs. I mean, that bastard, how dare he? Just a terrible man.
Well, good.
But you understand, we don't know because he hasn't done anything yet except for save these jobs before he got on the office. Yeah, you hate that, but that's all he's done. And interview people in Trump Tower. He even had Kanye over there.
Okay, yeah. Here's my fucking issue with that. Holy shit. First of all,
I didn't know that you had an issue with Kanye. I didn't know you had an issue with Kanye.
First of all, I hate Kanye West.
I had no idea.
There's not a lot of people that
I didn't know this.
give it a chance that I would just shoot them with my gun if I knew I could get away with it.
Kanye would be one, huh?
Yeah, I'd sleep just fine at night knowing that I was able to cause him to not be an issue anymore. And here's one of the reasons why. Because when Trump first said that I'm going to run for president, how fucking stupid did that sound?
I just like...
Stupid.
I
It sounded fucking
I
retarded.
honestly didn't think Trump was going to win.
No, nobody did, dude. That was dumb as shit. I even have a YouTube video talking about how, like,
I
dumb that I thought that was.
Listen, I followed Donald Trump since, like, 1988. So I've known about him other places. I had a friend that, like...
Oh, like when he was in the same political party as David Duke?
Yeah,
And then he's all like, yeah, I don't know who David Duke is.
But
Anyway, I'm going to quit running in that party because
this is before
David
politics. This is pre-politics. Before you knew what politics. This is all business. Okay, a friend of mine who I grew up that I spent a couple of years. I went to school out of our area. So in '89 and 88 and '89, I was not going to school here. I was going to school somewhere else. And one of my
Where?
friends up in Port Orchard.
Okay.
So one of my friends up there was an absolute, the guy absolutely freaking worshipped Donald Trump. This is in 1988. So doing paper routes and stuff like that, he had a paper route that was next to mine. And so we did a lot of hanging out. So he told me about Donald Trump, all this stuff about Donald Trump when I was, 14, 15 years old. So Donald Trump to me has always been a very good businessman, successful businessman. So this is my ideal of Donald Trump coming you know.
I love it when people are like, "Oh, he had eight
And then-
businesses go under."
And then the reason
Like,
why,
do you know how many businesses he's had?
Yeah.
Like a few hundred.
but he's
Like even if he only
like-
had 100, that'd still be 8%. That's still pretty fucking good. That's still at 92%, which is an A. But it's not. It's like 400 or 500 businesses. I'm not really sure. You know who knows? Kevin Hunter knows.
Kevin Hunter. But my point is that he's always been a strong businessman. Then, you know,
He's a douche Magoo. We're talking
Yeah.
about fucking Kanye West. My
Yeah,
loathing
right,
and
right.
disgust of Kanye West. Okay,
fine.
so
But
when
we
we
got
first
sidetracked, you know, about my thoughts on Donald Trump. Anyway,
when we first heard that
he
Donald Trump
hasn't done anything yet.
when we first heard that Donald Trump was running, it just sounded fucking stupid as shit. And, you know, Kanye has suspended his next campaign because he was going to run next time, but he said he's going to now not. And
In
he's going to
2020?
make sure that he runs after Donald Trump's all the way done being president. And, you know, we
So Trump's going to try to 2 terms? Is that what you think?
of course, yeah.
You think America will give him 2 terms?
Who the fuck knows? They gave him one. As stupid as I fucking does that sounds. I mean, thanks liberals for giving them Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump.
See, everything he's...
God damn it.
This goes back to, you know, strategic-wise.
Strategery.
He built his product. He built himself up. I mean, this guy spent...
He's like, we're gonna make America great.
Well, no, I mean, he started a long time ago, dude. I mean, he got out... I mean, he was in a WWF ring. He hit WWF rings, and I don't care
That's
what
what
you
his
say.
campaign was like. It was
They
like a
vote.
WWF fucking
They vote.
pre-pissing match.
They fucking vote, and they vote patriotic, liberty, you know, style. Their vote, and he fucking just, I mean, and made money at it probably with Vince McMahon. Went to every arena, and 30,000 people a pop for what, a year and a half. He was in, you know, bantering back and forth with Vince McMahon. I mean, he's just been in America's households and on their TVs and
He's a
in
douche
the
Magoo.
limelight for all these years, and people.
So here's my concern: is that
He was never a douche until he fucking said he was going to run for fucking president, Curtis.
No, he was a douche.
No,
I watched.
nobody fucking said a word
I
about
watched
him
The
being a
Apprentice.
douche.
I watched The Apprentice. I watched The Apprentice.
No, he was an asshole.
douche Magoo.
But what I'm saying is, nobody had any problems with him until he ran for president.
I'm sure there was some people
We have a
like
businessman.
the people that went to his college.
We have a businessman for
People that went to
president.
his college probably have a
Let's
problem.
see if
with
he
it.
can
all the
get
people
the
that
best
are in like
deal he can for
all the
American
different
people.
lawsuits, or the person that he apparently fucking raped, the child rape thing
Those,
that he's
that, all
involved
that
with.
shit'll go away.
Oh yeah, you know who also went away for that douche Magoo that Henry Platt fucking tried again, but it doesn't
Oh,
mean
yeah.
he didn't do it.
Right. And you know, I'm still
Just because it
upset.
goes away doesn't
And,
mean
and
he
my
didn't do it.
first criticism of Donald Trump is that he's not going to prosecute Hillary. I think that he absolutely should follow through and prosecute her.
No, he's lying.
I think he should.
I
never
know you
believed.
think he
I
should, but
never
he was a
believed
liar.
that he was going to.
He was a liar
I never
because they're
believed
all
it.
liars.
Again, they get to play with the truth.
I
in
mean,
elections. Both sides do it.
I'm sure Gary Johnson would have sucked, and I would have been just as eager to fucking hate on him because I don't like presidents. I don't like the federal government. I don't like leaders. I have a problem with authority. They've marked
So-
that on plenty of like things
I mean,
such as like
that's such a radical change
School
coming from the
records.
Democratic side. I mean, I mean, you went from believing that you should help people and all that stuff to
I don't
Just
not
screw
believe that you should help
everybody.
people. I just don't think that the government should have anything to do with the helping of people. The government role should be like making sure people don't fuck with your shit. That's it.
they've gotten way out of control.
Not like helping you out. Dude, you shouldn't be having the government help you out.
The government doesn't help me out.
The government needs to make sure that nobody fucks with you, and that includes
In fact,
keeping our sovereignty.
I'm tired of the government taking my money. It's getting fucking pissed. I'm just getting angry.
Stop paying taxes.
I don't want to go to jail.
I
don't wanna
can't
stop
give
paying
y'all.
this voluntary
I
tax,
can't
but
give
I
you
won't go to
advice,
jail.
but my advice is to be a free motherfucker and stop paying your taxes. Boom. This mind explosion. People are like, "Yeah, don't actually do that. That might end you up with your
Right.
liberties being taken away." Go
and
ahead,
your home and your car.
go ahead and
everything you
pay
own.
that shit. And
You got to pay the tax man. He's the only winner. And
Yeah. So, I was watching on the television
we're gonna talk about some personal stuff. Are we there yet?
some personal shit. We're
Yeah,
gonna be
you
talking
were gonna
about.
Tell me a story. About
So I heard
some
this
dude.
dumb bitch named Joy Bear on
yeah.
TV. Some fucking liberal hag.
That's the
I
aspirin
fucking-
lady, right? No, I'm just kidding. That's the View lady.
I was like, huh? Yeah. She was all talking about Reverend Wright, and they were talking about how Reverend Wright was racist, but like then they started going in on like why Reverend Wright was racist. Reverend Wright's super hardcore fucking racist. No one gives a shit why. Like nobody gives a shit why the fucking leader of the Klan is fucking racist, dude. Don't give a fuck. I don't care why he's a racist. Don't care why Reverend Wright's racist. There's my first point. These are just some things I have to get off my chest because I listen to this shit while
no,
I'm
you were
drinking
gonna
coffee.
tell me a story about.
I'm gonna be getting to that, dude. Don't worry about it. This stupid goddamn fucking wall and Republicans getting their fucking big old boners jerking themselves off over the wall and how we're gonna make Mexico pay for the wall. Mexico ain't paying for the wall, dude. We're gonna pay for the fucking wall. Mexico's gonna pay us back because we're gonna get tariffs. We can make them. No, because we're in this thing called NAFTA, and so there you go. That's that problem. Fuck that out the window. Like you can't say like I'm gonna borrow a bunch of money, but the plan to pay it back is to pray for an act of fucking Congress, which is literally what that would take. Stupid fucking plan. So that's just
it's
dumb.
definitely gonna be interesting
But-
to watch it go down.
Republicans claim to be like, oh, we know all about economics. But they don't seem to understand that there's obviously a fucking market for illegal immigrants and illegal immigrant laborers. That's what you call them. I call them free workers and free travelers.
You call them free workers and free travelers. Okay. By the way, should we? Is this the point where I talk about the Yakima thing?
You could talk about the Yakima thing, I guess, yeah.
So apparently coming across the Freedom Networks tonight.
Now we're going to totally have 4 things because we're going to be talking about the personal shits and
Oh yeah.
we're still playing this.
You want me to wait on the Freedom Network stuff?
No, because it goes into
Okay,
this
yeah.
since we're talking
So
about
the
free
Yakima
travelers.
City Council had an ordinance to become a sanctuary city, and they voted that down tonight.
And what's a sanctuary city for those that don't know?
That is where Curtis says free travelers can go, and they cannot worry about
Battle
being
voice.
deported. Free travelers can go and be not deported. I call them illegal aliens. You call them free travelers.
Free travelers. They're just free
But
people.
they can go there and not fear deportation.
Mm.
So that was voted down. And there's, some comments going on the internet
Probably.
on this one. And
I imagine so. There's usually
I-
comments on the
I,
internet.
the
People
first
are like,
comment
"Oh
is-
my god, they're
Oh.
taking our jobs." Dude, probably
the first
not.
comment on this was the best, and it was from a guy named Chris Cooper, and he's from the UK, and he says, "Good. If it went through, I may have asked for a refund on the nearly $10,000 I paid to be here legally and become a citizen."
Oh.
It's a pretty good comment. I mean,
So, like, his argument is that he got raped, so everybody else should get raped.
right? Yeah,
Like, it's just fair.
yeah. But anyway, they shot that down. So, no sanctuary city in Yakima.
Oh, so that's a no-go?
It's a no-go. No go.
Okay. Well, I mean, that sucks.
I thought that they were going to.
Then just don't go. Don't go to Yakima, apparently.
No go. And apparently, according to the other comments, that there is people in about the same amount of number for and against, testifying, but it just they voted no.
They were just like, nah.
No, it was for like a 4 or 5 vote, type of thing. They put a lot of thought into it from what I'm reading, but
Probably not.
it's a no. Now back to your. Are we to the story yet?
No, that totally is gonna have to take up, like, we're doing that whole new portion of the podcast for that shit, because that
Really?
shit's all yeah, dude, that's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to read the creepy ass shit that I was sent, and it's fucking weird, dude.
So this will be like the personal life of Curtis Hart
And the Punisher Squad.
The shit that you go through on the internet.
Just one story of the
Yeah.
shit that I go through on the internet. Fucking A, what are you talking about? So, yes, the economics of free movement and workers and the market for free workers. or as you guys call them, illegal immigrants, and their labor that they bring, which is a big portion of our U.S. economy. If you got a real big problem with it, y'all should just maybe elect leaders and get rid of the minimum fucking wage, and that would make it so that you could compete with the cost that the free workers are charging for their labor to the people that are hiring them.
Free workers.
Or let me put that in like another way. Like, if you didn't depend on the government to make you have a minimum wage, you could fucking match the price that the illegal immigrant, and I've used like quote marks around that shit, is charging to get to steal your job. They're not stealing your job. They're just charging less for their labor. And the reason that they're charging less for your labor is because you're asking the government to give you a minimum fucking wage. So there you go on that.
I always thought that there was the argument, people use the argument they're also doing jobs that normal Americans wouldn't want to do.
Probably not. They're just doing that shit cheap.
Yeah.
It's not that Americans don't want to do them. It's just that Americans think that they are like owed a certain amount of money for some fucking reason.
So you don't think that the immigrants should be making $15 an hour like everybody else?
I think that they should be able to make however much their boss and them come to an agreement they should
So
make.
you don't agree with
Minimum wage. I don't
government
agree with minimum
fixing-
wage.
You don't agree
No.
with,
Government fixing, no.
but so our minimum wage was raised by a vote of the people.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that?
I think it's bullshit. It's like 12% of the fucking people actually ended up voting for that.
No,
Of the total people. Not talking about voters. Talking about like you take 50% roughly is actually registered to vote or can vote. Okay, 50% of that is registered to vote. That's 25% right there. Okay, and it only takes 50% plus one to win an election. That makes it so that it's about 12.5% of the people have to vote for fucking yes or no for something to affect change. It's a minority perceived as a majority. It's a big fucking lie. You're living in the goddamn lie. Does that make sense to you though?
No, I look at the numbers and I saw a high margin of voters.
Yes,
still decided.
but when you look at total group amount of people,
Right, but I mean,
it's a small group of people that are making the decision.
So basically, your argument, just because they're yelling rabble, 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 that doesn't mean that's what the majority of the people of the state wanted.
Yes.
That is what you're saying.
Yes. What are we even talking about?
The minimum wage.
Minimum wage. Yeah. Fuck minimum wage, dude.
Rabble, rabble, rabble. So all
I am not for the minimum wage.
Okay, so that argument I hear a lot, and I have to agree with it because in instances in our county, there's a lot of things that we don't want going on, but people can't make the frickin' meetings. They just can't because they're too busy working or
They don't give a fuck.
got their kids in a sport and they can't. You know, like me, when it's like baseball season, man, I'm
Yeah. It's such a
transporting
pain in
3
my ass to do
children.
this show.
3 children to sports at one time. We have to start paying attention.
Good
to
thing the
this
boy
stuff.
drives now.
Yeah, sometimes it comes in handy, except for when he gets stuck in the front yard. But anyway, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you." Anyway, but no, that's true. But it was such a high majority that it shows that a lot of people probably, I just don't know.
Okay, so another thing really quickly is that I've been hearing the liberals whine about. And the liberals that I'm like specifically talking about is them freaking hags on The View. Because like I listen to these hags while I'm sitting there trying to drink my coffee. Like my mom watches it. I'm hanging out with my mom.
Listen,
I listen to the fucking View. And it's like it gives me great like fodder for here.
Listen,
because I'm just like
it's funny that you bring this up because around Christmas time I had to watch an episode of The View at the in-laws' house. And I almost wanted to light myself on fire.
Yeah.
I wanted, it was so bad I even made a post. If you go back, I have a post.
Dude, it's so bad I started keeping a notebook in my pocket to write down ideas for the show.
I only had to watch it once that these ladies were definitely talking about things that they shouldn't be talking about. Not because they're women, it's just because they are actors and they are entertainment people.
Well, what do you mean we shouldn't? Well, okay, we'll get to that in the next one.
They shouldn't
whether or not
be. They were saying hateful things, dude.
Ooh, your butt hurt. Go to your safe place. Turn that shit off.
No. Safe zones are okay, I thought.
They're Okay, you just saying that to bother me. So there's that. We'll
But
leave
no,
with this last asterisk before we go on to our next segment, which is asterisk. The state is an impotent thief. We'll just leave that as a comment for something
Sure.
that happened to me in the last week. That's what I think about certain things in local government. Is the state is an impotent thief, and this is because Liberty with Curtis Hart
And Chris Morrison.
and Chris motherfucking Bornstead. This is Lung Invasion,
Lung
my brother's old
Invasion.
band, and this song is
we
a
gonna be
cover
this-
of "Here Comes the Rain Again." Peace out.
Motion.
Truth be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. And institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most.
And this is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart
And Chris Morningside.
and Chris motherfucking Bornstead. This is part 4 of tonight's broadcast. We will be talking a bit later about some Punisher Squad stuff. And for right now, we're going to quickly wrap up our list of notes that have been taken throughout the week on what to talk about tonight, and possibly the list of grievances that we've had about the last slave master that is on his way out. So my big two butthurt complaints about Obama was that he passed the NDAA and that he made it illegal to protest in certain areas. You can listen to my grievances about those on the other episodes that you probably, if you're listening to this, there's a good chance that you heard us talk about those in earlier episodes. But you will be able to find all this on becauseliberty.org probably tomorrow or maybe sometime next week, not necessarily tonight. But you can definitely find it on Spreaker right now.
Yeah.
You know that if you're listening to this right now. 'cause
Right.
That's how you're listening
Obviously.
to it. Obviously.
This should be, part
4.
Four.
Far.
Part
You thought it was going to be part 5.
Well, no, I was just waiting for it to pop up.
It doesn't say part 4.
It takes a few minutes to pop
End
up.
of the Drone Punisher and Drone POTUS and
Right,
the Punisher
right,
Squad
right.
update. So we left lastly on my little quote about the state is an impotent thief. That is really the only comment that I'm going to make about a certain somebody, and the state's a fucking impotent thief. Ridiculous. I've been listening to the liberals complain about Trump and Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is a good one.
Again, a big fuck you to
I don't
the
know if
joy
you
and
are
the
you and
whoopee
I
for-
going to agree on this one that
I got no issue with Trump being on Twitter, dude.
Okay,
It takes seconds
so,
to belt out
you know,
140
right,
characters.
but I believe this is one of the good things that he's going to do. I think that he's going to
Just let people hear what he thinks all day long.
he's going to take it right to us.
Bruh.
He's going to tell us, hey, this is
Seriously,
what
it'd
we're
be
gonna
like
do.
if I was the president.
And he's gonna live stream the shit on
I know.
Facebook, and we're gonna be able to tune in, and he's gonna be able to directly look at us and go, "This is what I want to do.
This is what you
Get on the
deserve,
phone.
America.
You know,
This
get on
is
the
what you
phone.
deserve. You get what you deserve.
He can organize people to get on the phone and call their legislators. He can do wonderful things with this if he chooses to.
It's called propaganda.
It's not
The
called
leaders don't
propaganda.
have your best interest at heart. They
Right,
don't
yeah,
have your,
no,
they
come
don't
on.
have our
Anyway.
best interest at heart. They don't give a fuck about you.
Even
Again,
you are part of the process. You go to
to
the meetings.
quote-
You testify. That's being part of the
And I
process.
know they don't give a fuck, dude. They never hardly give a fuck
No,
unless
they
you just
don't.
keep on up
Not
their
unless
ass.
they agree with you.
Yeah.
Not unless they agree with you.
Sometimes if you focus your energy really hard on one issue and you're just a pain in the ass and you make it like known that like I'm gonna keep coming back here until I get my way. Until straight up, until I get what I want. Like I'm just gonna take up as much
Right.
time. I'm gonna be a big pain in your ass.
Right. I'm
Then
just pointing
sometimes
out- listen,
then sometimes they don't take your land
just
and
pointing
turn it into a
out
parking lot.
That he is going to end the control of the liberal media controlling everything. It's done. They're done.
Well, then that would be awful if the president had anything to do with getting rid of somehow the free market
no, they
of
aren't. No. They
the-
aren't going to go
the
away.
fucking press.
They aren't going to go away. They just aren't going to be able to do the same bullshit
He's just
that
not
you're
gonna-
complaining about all night long. He's going to call them out on it every time, and he's going to do it on social media. Where people
Yeah, one of
see
the
it.
things he does is just sit there. CNN is fake news.
Hey, you know
Dude,
what?
it's not fake news just
We're
because you
gonna
don't
call-
like what they're fucking saying.
No. He was calling. Basically, he used. Okay.
Somebody's gonna pop off with because liberty's fake news.
Well,
I'm gonna be-
but whatever.
Well,
Let
fuck
him.
you, bitch. We're not fake.
Listen.
I ain't gotta lie about shit. You just my opinions are different from the shit that I talk about.
Back up. What were you saying about right before?
Presidents suck. They don't have your best interests at heart. They don't give a fuck about you. Is that what you're talking about?
No, you went way
What was I
back
gonna
too
say?
far. No,
You're like, no,
it's
not
lost. It's
not that
we're
many
gone.
minutes. Okay, so
Oh yeah, end of the liberal media. It's done.
The end of-
he
the
can just-
end of the liberal media.
Well, no, they listen. They use a lot of their data, which isn't the same data that other people use.
I see my
It's
job over
different
the next 4 years to
from other
fight the
people's data.
alt-right.
And of course, they claim that their data is correct when somebody else is claiming theirs data correct.
They're all liars.
Right? You know,
They're all liars and thieves.
we can figure this
Ticks
out.
and
though.
leeches.
But we're, I'm with you. He should be able to use social media to his advantage, and he's gonna.
Yeah, it's like these stupid liberals that I hear yapping about how like he needs to stay off the Twitter. He doesn't have time to be on Twitter.
Yeah, they
Dude,
hate it. They hate it because
It takes
because
100. It takes seconds to
they
belt out
got
140
They got
40
beat
characters.
in social media. They got owned in social media.
It doesn't even matter. It's
They-
just
we stole their tactics.
Their
They-
whole
This is
point.
what we beat them with their own style of tactics.
the whole idea that he doesn't have time to be on Twitter is stupid, dude. That's a fake argument
You can Twitter all your
with your fake fucking news. Okay, now we're gonna be moving on to the Calais County Commissioner meetings. Today, Arn Mortensen in Commissioner meetings, LMFAO. That's my notes that I had written down. Well, if you want to fucking see some fucking great shit, go watch Arn Mortensen today. He was hilarious. They're like,
This
"Well, are
is
you gonna
in-
do some shit?" And he's basically like, "Yeah, nah, didn't do it." I ain't doing that shit. I don't know. Either way, wasn't
I don't
supposed to
know
do
if
this
it
or
wasn't
this.
No, it's not.
Either way, I didn't do it.
Yeah, it was just about a letter, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was out of his control. The letter is going to happen, and
And we talked about this earlier. He
you know,
wants to
again, if you would have been there last week, this what they're talking about.
I have class. That's why I ain't going.
yeah,
not
they
like
kicked-
I got class.
Listen,
I'm
the
a
first
classy
thing they did
motherfucker.
when
Like,
Mike Konofsky got done is they kicked him right over and got him appointed to the Parks Department. And Dennis Weber punted this issue last week in the meeting to the Parks Department, where he knew Mike would take care of it and get the letter done. So, Arn just didn't,
good.
I mean, it was already all handled. So what's the point of him making the phone call?
He's a douche Magoo.
Who?
Dennis Weber and Mike Karnofsky.
Oh,
I still say that.
I just
douche
want to make
Magoo.
sure you were saying about that about Arn, because I
No,
really
dude,
think
he's hilarious. He's rad.
I'm pretty sure that he's giving.
I love it when people think that I lost the election.
I-
Like, okay, I didn't think I was gonna win. I was hoping I'd win. I even said that in the fucking paper.
Yeah.
Like,
Just-
there's never been
Yeah.
a secret.
Yeah.
He's the first person.
We haven't talked about the election results, but you should be pretty happy about. I mean,
I got 6%, dude. That's twice higher than libertarians are expected to get. So, boom, bitches.
I mean, the numbers were like a couple thousand people voted.
I got more than Gary
Libertarian.
Johnson,
And
percentage-wise, anyways.
our area pulled really strong in libertarianism.
Yeah,
on that.
we did.
So
It was great.
there's a small fraction of people out
Yeah,
there that
you
need to
you-
come hang out with us.
You end up meeting some people that like are that you find out that voted for Gary Johnson. They're just like some pretty amazing people.
Yeah, we have meetings.
We have meetings. It's like an AA meeting now. I'm Curtis and I'm a libertarian. I'm Curtis and I hate the state.
So the meeting today, you
He
felt
wanted
our-
the comprehensive plan to align with RCWs,
Right.
which I see no fucking problem with that.
Right, that's
He said
sticking
like
to
he
the
wanted like
Constitution,
wants
that's
and
good.
needs.
Yeah, you
like
know.
the needs are like what stuff has like
Basically, you say, let's
RCWs.
keep this constitutional, boys.
And then we got the fake news. That's an asterisk that I have
The
on
fake
here.
news, we could make like a whole show about that.
Yeah, but
because-
real quickly, so they changed the name of conspiracy theories to fake news, and then
Right.
they've decided like anything they don't like is
Well,
fake news.
yeah, that's basically
There you go.
what it is.
That's basically what it boils
It's
down.
basically what they've been doing for the last 20 years.
And then so
we
this is gonna sound hilarious,
yeah.
but it has to do with liberty. It has to do with like doing whatever you want to. Like I can't stress enough how I'm not the one who figured this shit out. One of my friends pointed this out to me, who does go on here. It doesn't go on here for like the reasons that you would think. He was actually looking for somebody to do a massage, like an actual massage. But he
What
needed
are we talking about
he
here?
needed a massage done with some THC oil that he was worried about going to like an quote unquote legitimate massage place
Uh-huh.
because it's THC oil that he like had made. Anyway, so Backpages.com, which is a place to find escorts and like unlicensed massage places, basically straight up fucking hookers.
What?
Yeah. Okay. It got closed down and censored by the government like within the past couple of days. He told me.
Well, should bring this up now when we can't go to it. Where'd it go?
I mean, it's like still there, and if you look for things in other countries, like you can still find all the hookers and shit. Like you can still find them under all the categories, and like of course the market prevails, so they found a way around it. Like they just post in like personal ads instead of under straight up escorts because they did just have like escorts as a thing.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like if you look into one on America,
How
because
much
he
is-
showed me, because he's like, oh, you'll love this for your fucking show. He's like,
How
this
much
is
is
bullshit.
How much is an escort nowadays?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I didn't fucking look at
I
that.
have
I know
no-
when I was in Canada, like when I was 19,
Yeah.
so that would have been like in 2000, I think.
Mhm.
It would have been before they blew up the fucking towers. Escort up there was like 300 for an hour,
Wow.
but that was back in 1999, 2099. I think it was
People pay
99.
that.
I was 19, so.
That's
I have no idea how much they go for now, dude. I
I-
don't know if I'm paying for that shit. They pay me.
Pay me.
So yeah, I think that's all I had written down as far as those things go. So now we will move straight into
Okay.
the Punisher Squad update. So do my Punisher Squad thing on Whisper.
Right.
And for those that are listening to now that don't know what the Punisher Squad stuff is, which I don't know how that would be a thing, but you can go ahead and find that on earlier episodes on this same very app that you're listening to this episode on. So on the Punisher Squad update, I used the app Whisper to catch the pedos on there, right? And so we have a friend who is fucking just one of my really good friends. Guy's hilarious. I thought it was him that I was talking to for the longest time because dude does these long drawn out fucking pranks and fucks with you. And like I totally and I would send him things. I'm like, is this you? Tell me this is you.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I don't know. Is it me? It's like, seriously, no, dude, is it you? And he's like, I don't know. Is it me? Like, what? Tell me.
Oh, you know what? I have another shirt idea, and I'll tell it to you later.
All right.
No, I actually need
So-
to write it down now, or I'll forget it.
Okay, yeah, here, write it down right here on this side. So, I'm sitting over there at Jack in the Box, right? This dude walks up to me and he's
Now,
like,
you
hey.
have to pay me for this shit, right? Oh no, I may have forgotten. No, I'm just kidding. No.
So I'm sitting there, Jack in the Box. Dude fucking walks up while I'm standing there waiting for food. He made it sound like he worked in the Jack in the Box. I don't know if he did. But
Right.
he's told me that he worked at Bernie's. It says on his Facebook, and I'm pretty sure it's a fake Facebook
Yeah,
page.
he
that-
said his name is not really said that in what you showed me.
Yes, his
This
name's
is on
not.
your Facebook
his name's
page,
not
right?
Jim Northrup. Yeah, he
Right,
posted
right,
my.
okay, all right.
So
he's not
he
his real
approaches
name.
me at Jack in the Box,
Okay.
and he starts
Comes
talking.
right up to you.
Comes
Just
right up
says,
to me.
"Hey."
Hey, Curtis, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And so I'm wearing this yellow hat, and I was wearing a sweatshirt that had the Punisher logo on it.
Oh yeah, I bet that was fun.
Pretty fucking noticeable.
I bet it was really fun.
And I'm just waiting for my food like a normal motherfucker, and this dude starts coming up to me, and he's like, oh, how's Catherine? Catherine is my ex-wife, and I don't live with her anymore. I'm like pretty good. At this point, I think that it's one of her cousins. I think it's one of her cousins that I don't see very often, and so I thought it was him. And he's like, oh, I used to have a class with her at LCC, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, that's how you know me, whatever. And then he's like, so you've been talking to me for a while on fucking Whisper. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I realized that, like, he's the guy that I thought that was our buddy. And I ain't going to say our buddy's name on there. But I'm like quickly thinking, like, well, this is fucking getting, like, really weird all of a sudden. And then he starts talking about how the Punisher Squad stuff is hurting people like him. For those that don't know, that didn't look it up, my Punisher Squad thing is where I find fucking pedophiles that are looking for little girls to have sex with, and I get them to meet up with me and my pals, the Punisher Squad, and we turn them over to the police, and the state is an impotent thief, and they do what they fucking do.
I don't know how to feel about this because everybody wants us to give these people a chance when they get out of prison. And
Personally, I fucking am hoping that they all get shivved while they're in fucking prison or jail.
Right, but
That's
some
the
point,
job and the role of the fucking
right,
prisoner.
but at some point these guys get kicked back out, and they have to live out here amongst us. And I'm not a fan of
One of the
these guys
big
at
reasons
all.
that I'm not doing too much Punisher Squad stuff is because I found out that like the person has to kick it in the area that they got arrested while they're on DOC probation. So like, and since these dickweeds are coming in from out of fucking area,
yeah.
like these dickweeds are gonna be here for a while. So like, that's one of the reasons why I'm not just like clogging our system up with all the fucking pedophiles like
You know
that.
what? I heard that same argument. I can't remember who I heard it from though. But yeah, you're making citizens here in Cowles County.
Yeah,
So
I know who fucking made the goddamn argument.
who made the argument? I can't remember.
RJ.
Oh, I don't think he. I don't.
He mentioned it to me at the very least.
But I don't know.
Well, I saw him. I see him now. I got my phone back, bitches. Finally got my fucking phone
we did an
back.
episode on that. That was our last.
No,
episode.
I didn't do an episode on this. I did the episode on the iPhone. The iPhone's hands down has better microphones than this fucking
No,
S5.
We talked about. We did an episode when you got your phone back.
We did an episode when we got the phone back, but
When
we
you
did the
got your
episode
phone.
off my iPhone
Oh.
because the iPhone has a decent mic. It has way better microphone than the S5 does.
Oh.
Also has way longer battery life. Just saying. So, anyways, dude approaches me. He ends up telling me that like I'm, the Punisher Squad is causing problems, and that I should actually be helping. And he was talking about liberty, and when pedophiles come up and start talking about liberty, they're talking about some fucking things that they don't understand as far as the non-aggression principle and harming children. And like, dude had a lot of fucking balls walking up to me and saying that shit just fucking to begin with. And so like, if dude's listening to this, you need to not ever fucking approach me again, because I'll like your creepy ass shit that you've posted has definitely made you, as far as I'm concerned, a threat to me. You're creepy as fuck.
What does he want? He just wants you to leave. All.
I
all
don't know
these guys
exactly what he
alone.
wants, but let me read to you what he posted. So about a week after he ran into me at Jack in the Box,
Uh-huh.
he friend requested me on Facebook.
Right.
And like almost a minute or 2 minutes later, like he probably already had this shit just written down, or he's just psycho as fuck and just belted this out in like 1 or 2 minutes after sending me a friend request. Posted this shit on my wall, and like it appears like nobody can see this shit except for me, because it must have been like privacy settings or something. I don't know.
I have no idea. You showed this to me before you were going to read it, so
Right
I'll probably-
before
Yeah, I'll probably ask you the same questions I did.
that I didn't
You know,
answer because I just said I'll answer them.
Yeah, right.
So here's what this dude fucking said to me. Check this weird shit out, dude. Fucking weirdo.
This is pretty long.
Open letter to Curtis Hart, that's me. Andy Huffman, that's one of my best friends. And Mariah Imhoff, have no
Okay.
fucking clue who that
Yeah,
is.
that was one of my first questions. Is I obviously
Who the fuck
clearly
was
I
that
know who
person?
Huffman is, but I don't know who the
Clearly.
third person is.
have no
I don't
idea.
know why they targeted Huffman in this, other than he's calling out, these
So
guys.
remember when I posted that thing and I was like, anybody know why I'm on this list with all these people?
Right.
That dude.
Well, that was
That's
this
the
guy.
dude that fucking made that list.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So this guy's been stalking you for a while.
Yes.
All right. But
Yeah.
you didn't know that he was.
Thought it was
like,
fucking Dan.
You thought it was
shit.
Dan.
He was gonna not say the name.
So. and now.
Not him though, dude. It's this guy that's going by Jim Northrup, which
Okay.
is obviously a fake name. It is a made up name. He's like, what is your name? He's all
Well-
like maximum occupancy.
Now you
Like,
have
no,
to,
that's
all
not
you have
your
to
name,
do is
dude.
go back to Jack and Box to see if he's working. Then you'll know where you can find him.
You
Whatever
want
you
just gonna
want to.
stick around there like all shifts, all fucking week long? You know how many people that is?
No. It wouldn't take long.
I mean, I could say that
this
like he
guy's
looks like my
working-
Weasley
this
friend
guy's
Chris
gonna be
Marks,
working
but
as many hours as possible.
he
doesn't-
looks like
I
one
read
of
the
my
letter.
buddies.
He doesn't have a life. All right.
Yeah. So here's the letter, dude. Open letter to those three people, like myself, one of my best friends, Andy Huffman, and Mariah Imhoff, whoever the fuck that is.
I'd like to add, you don't have a life because of
Type
your
that shit in.
actions.
Type that person's name in actually.
Oh,
And
okay.
into the fucking
so
building.
which name?
MUI
MUI.
RAHIMHO. FF. Okay. Here's what this dude fucking posted up on my Facebook fucking wall. Which is just, okay, this is not my words. This is dude's words to me. It's creepy as fuck. It's not a feeling like I could kill myself. And that was all in capitalized, the could. Just that I think it would make sense with the bills and the people. The way they look at me and dismiss me so easily. I feel worthless. I can't see it getting much better. My old friends will never return on their own or otherwise. Why would you want them to return, like, not on their own? It's just weird. I apparently can't do enough of the right kind of work to support myself or earn their respect.
Okay.
Well, like, I'm just... Pause. Probably shouldn't have done whatever you did to lose all that shit. And, like, since, dude, I've asked him several times, like, who the fuck are you? What'd you do?
Okay,
he
so-
won't answer those questions, so...
I did what you asked me to do, and I searched it, and she appears to be a young lady who used to work at Vernie's Pizza.
Okay, he said that he worked at Vernie's.
So he said he worked at Vernie's Pizza. So clearly they have history together at Vernie's.
Okay.
So that's
Okay, I gotta get through this because my phone's dying and I didn't... Wait
My
a second.
charger's right
You got
there.
your- Move,
Hey,
doggy.
Onyx, get off the charger.
Move, Onyx. Da, 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 da.
Girl, yes you are. Yes.
I'm like, slam. Remember Onyx?
Usually we're in bed by
The
now.
rap group.
Yeah. Usually we're.
Okay, back to creepy letter.
Yes.
Okay, I cost more resources than I provide. Fuck, that
So-
sucks,
So
dude.
he's saying
God
that,
damn.
that he,
Right there, I don't even like it.
him being monitored costs a lot of money.
And he doesn't provide any resources. I
He
don't
has
even
to
know,
pay
dude.
a lot of money to,
I'm just,
for them
I'm
to
just,
monitor it.
let me just read through
Right,
this
okay,
ridiculousness. I cost more resources than I provide. My life is unhappy, and I do very little to improve anyone else's environment or personal feelings. I am a black spot, filth, garbage. I have only been pretending to fit in, and I've been doing a very poor job of it. Life is not a real option. My family and friends have had enough of me. The rest believe I should be dead. The middle road is a locked down prison facility on an island where society can forget I exist. This should totally be some kind of like fucking just emo song, I imagine. Just saying. I think I'm human. Like, if you hurt a child, I'm just saying, like, you're not, as far as I'm concerned. You're subhuman. So, like, I don't even think that, like, that really deserves human rights, because you can't change what you're attracted to. If you could change what you're attracted to, then, like, I don't think a lot of people that aren't attracted to what society deems as normal would pursue being attracted to that shit. They would just change it.
See, they have us questioning ourselves with things like, well, what was this guy's situation?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me.
You know,
He's just posting this weird shit up on my shit
18
and telling me
and dating a 16-year-old.
I don't know.
I mean, we just don't. We don't.
that's
know.
legal. That's
Okay,
legal. So you wouldn't be
was
an
he
asshole for doing
18
that.
and a 15-year-old?
That's still
mean-
legal.
Is it?
Yeah,
How?
because it is. 16 is the age of consent, but you have to have so many certain months. So like they figured it out. So basically, like you can have a high school relationship. That's not us taking a piss inside the house, by the way.
What? No, the dogs know that if they come over and bark at the water cooler, they get water.
That's hilarious.
So
This is where all the water's kept.
right, they.
We know this. Okay, so
Like
back
everybody
to
else, they come to the
back
water cooler when they want water.
back to creepy letter.
They're smart dogs. What can I say?
I still think I'm human. Pause. I just got to interject there. Like, if you hurt a child, you're not. Okay, back to this. Unpause. And I have always had trouble causing purposeful damage to a person. But most of them see me as a thing that is distasteful and costly. Every day I am alive, there are fewer resources for the ones who haven't done what I have done. What the fuck you do? It's okay to kill me. Okay, like, I don't actually advocate for anybody to actually go out and kill this person.
Right,
Just
no.
saying. Or harm this person physically in any way. I do advocate that businesses turn away known sex offenders and just say, yeah, we refuse the right to serve your ass.
There's a group
fuck out
of
of our
people
town.
out there that are fighting
That
for
I do
these
advocate
people that
for.
have rights, though.
Yeah, fuck those people, dude.
That we shouldn't
those
know
are
who these
motherfuckers that
people
are in my
are.
circle. They're not in my clique.
I mean, but these people are winning the argument.
Who
They're
are these
winning-
people?
I don't know. They're liberals. I mean, they want to
Not
give
liberals
these.
in general.
They want to give these people chances. They want them. we see it in the comments online all the time. You have a group of people out there that just want to give these people their lives back, and like nothing ever happened. Like they're cured.
Yeah, they ain't getting
mean-
cured. So back to creepy.
I mean, I
shit.
understand that the reoffend rates are low, but numbers scary that we learned
What's up?
when I went to this thing at the community house is that the reoffenders rate in their ages, older men are starting to do this more. And when I say older, I'm talking like 60s and 70s and 50s are like just growing. She wants to go outside.
All right, so it's okay to kill me. It is okay. Just go do it yourself, dude. Go fucking go talk about it. Bitch.
Now, don't advocate for somebody taking
not
their
talking-
life. You don't want to make
That's
that
not
worse.
actually me doing that. That's me being facetious. I want to look that shit up. Okay, it's okay if I starve or freeze or die of dysentery. Dude, you probably ain't gonna die of dysentery unless you're drinking out of some nasty water during after a flood. Floods are coming, by the way, people like
It's not gonna be as bad as what they thought.
yeah, who fucking knows? They're like, oh, it's gonna be coming.
It was in the
It's gonna be
commissioner
big
meeting when
bad
they were
ice storm.
talking about sandbags this afternoon.
Yeah, because the government knows what the fuck they're talking
They
about.
said
They
it wasn't
didn't.
going to be as bad.
Those motherfuckers didn't even know where the sandbag you get in fucking Sandfield. Like they didn't know.
They didn't know what the policy was on sandbags.
I don't know what the policy is on sandbags, but
Well,
it's not my
usually
fucking.
Department of Emergency Managers usually post, hey, the commissioners gave us so many, bags. So clearly, the Department of Emergency Management.
Dennis Weber's just like, I don't know, as long as overwhelming gets kicked out of the building.
That's that's not what he said.
No,
That was not said.
that was not what he actually. That was not a direct quote. That was me thinking out loud. That's why I said like. I didn't say he said.
But anyway, so back to the letter.
Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, back to the crazy letter. It's not important. I'm not important or valuable. This is back to the crazy person. These aren't my words. I'm not important because I am super important and valuable. I'm not important or valuable. I am only a liability. Do not help that thing. There are people who deserve it much more than that thing. Ignore it. Scold it. Remove it. Cover it. Wash the stain it left. Like you probably take care of your own stains. Do not help it. Do not listen to it or talk to it. Never feed it, and certainly do not let it inside. I wonder how I would have fared in other world where it didn't happen. Would I have been a person then because I still felt the disconnect long before my mistakes? Would I have still felt like I was always outside watching someone else's TV, fighting the elements so I can catch a glimpse of Homer choking Bart Simpson with no sound while I wonder what went wrong in my family? I am what happens when intelligence and kindness are matched with isolation. Sounds like a Tool song, dude. Sounds like prison sex almost. But much of that is ego and my own perception. It's all I have, my thoughts and feelings, like a bitch. 30 years in, scared, lonely, unaccomplished, broke,
So he's
breaking
30.
more every
This
day.
guy's 30,
I guess.
around there.
The little boy who gets beat up by the babysitter's kid, punished for it, and ridiculed by his family for the scars it leaves.
Oh.
True story, tater tot, scab face. Did I become a man? No, I'm not even a person. I'm barely even good on most days. To them or myself, it's a real question to me. Is there value in my life? And should I do when we all and what should I do when we all agree there is not? Signed, Jim Northrup. Crazy as fuck. And then he posted some other shit on his wall, calling me which I got a big kick out of, a local militia leader. He said I was a local militia leader, which is
Local militia leader.
fucking
huh?
boss as fuck, dude. Like I somehow got a gnarly. I guess is that a promotion?
I guess. I don't know.
Militia leader. Some other fucking stupid Chimo group gave me an award called a Shiitake Award.
Where's this at?
It was on that oncefallen.com.
They gave you an award. They
Yeah.
actually gave you an award.
They didn't get. I didn't get no physical award. They just talked a bunch of butthurt shit about me, whining and crying about how the poor us we fucking harmed some kid, and now we have to register as a
Right,
sex
but
offender.
these guys would go on continuing.
Yeah,
harming
no, the
kids.
guy that
These
owns
guys-
that site, like, he's
Right.
very unapologetic.
These guys, are,
And
they
very
have
much
other
thinks that-
sites. This guy has other sites where they advocate for it.
Yeah, he very much thinks that they don't, like, kids don't have the right to say no. That's what he thinks. That's fucked up, dude. That guy should have just been taken out in the back of the fucking county courthouse when they found him guilty and hung at the hanging tree.
I
That
just
every county in the
again,
world
you know,
has.
growing up,
They need to just get a hanging tree, get a good
growing
rope.
up, there was no argument on these guys. They
Not
just
even need to
they
get a
would
rope
think they
anymore. You
go
just
to
get
prison.
like a wire cable by one of those
But
motherfuckers.
see, the issue is a lot of people were going to prison that weren't actually doing it. So that's kind of slowed down quite a bit. But this is I imagine this is something that's been going on for a long time. I can't believe that the people out there are arguing for rights for them. Oops, that's the wrong button.
That's the wrong button. Okay,
That's my
so
C-SPAN
actually,
button.
here we're going to really quickly play. I haven't heard this at all, but I very much. And go ahead and read that quote that you wanted to read by,
Okay.
what was that,
I mean,
Dr. fucking Phil?
Yeah, I'm not a Dr. Phil fan, but
Read that shit while I find
his
this.
quote of the day was, "I worry that high-profile celebrities run a risk of having unwarranted impact on public opinion. Being talented in one area doesn't translate into special insight or wisdom in another, such as politics. Maybe we should think about staying in our own lane. Hopefully most fans think for themselves. I'm betting they do. And that's just not how it went down. I mean, you should see the terror that the left caused on their own people. All these terrible things were going to happen to them. I mean, it was just, these people they scared them shitless, saying that they're going to lose everything they had. They just scared people, and it still didn't work."
Okay, so I very much think that, and I find it quite ironic that people on the right are like, oh, she's an actress. She shouldn't be saying this shit. When Meryl Streep went up on the Golden Globes, and she said some shit about Trump, and
I
the
saw
people
how you
were
said
like,
you would have used the soapbox too.
yes, I very much think, like, what do you think I use Facebook and social media for? And and Spreaker to get up on my soapbox. Like, I think that, like, it's your fucking duty to speak up if somebody's going to be listening to what you have to say.
Right, I think the point
Instead of
is
saying
that,
some
okay,
stupid, useless shit
you
like,
do that because
"Thank
you
you,
do
thank
it
you,
every
thank you,
single
thank you,
day.
thank
You
you."
understand? You do it every single day. You crawl up the ass of government. Okay, these are actors who just are going off an ideal. They aren't involved in the politics. Yeah, they are
So
part of
fucking what?
organizations that donate money and stuff like that. But
They-
you know more than they do. Do you understand?
Possibly.
And when they open their mouth, no, you know more than they do. There's very few in Hollywood that even can possibly even think like you do. But they have great influence on people because they're enamored with them. They're awesome. They've seen them in these roles that are so wonderful. These are wonderful people because
we
they're
got to get to
actors.
this because I haven't listened to this shit yet.
All
I
right,
haven't listened
but
to
I'm
what
just
she
saying,
fucking
these
said,
people,
but we're going to
they-
go ahead
they,
and
they
play
run
this.
their mouths. They don't know.
Good.
But all I'm saying is they don't have the information like you do.
So what?
They shouldn't run their mouths.
What do you mean they shouldn't?
It
People should take it for what it's worth.
It was worth absolutely nothing because I don't know if she was acting or not.
Who cares?
She's an actress. I don't know if she needs it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please stand. Please stand. Thank you. I love you all. You'll have to forgive me. I've lost my voice in screaming and lamentation this weekend. And I have lost my mind sometime earlier this year, so I have to read. Thank you, Hollywood Foreign Press. just to pick up on what Hugh Laurie said. You, and all of us in this room really, belong to the most vilified segments in American society right now. Think about it. Hollywood, foreigners, and the press. But who are we? And you know, what is Hollywood anyway? It's just a bunch of people from other places. I was born and raised and educated in the public schools of New Jersey. Viola was born in a sharecropper's cabin in South Carolina, came up in Central Falls, Rhode Island. Sarah Paulson was born in Florida, raised by a single mom in Brooklyn. Sarah Jessica Parker was one of 7 or 8 kids from Ohio. Amy Adams was born in Vicenza, Veneto, Italy. And Natalie Portman was born in Jerusalem. Where are their birth certificates? And the beautiful Ruth Nega was born in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, raised in Ireland, I do believe. And she's here nominated for playing a small-town girl from Virginia. Ryan Gosling, like all the nicest people, is Canadian. And Dev Patel was born in Kenya, raised in London, and is here for playing an Indian raised in Tasmania. So Hollywood is crawling with outsiders and foreigners. And if we kick them all out, you'll have nothing to watch but football and mixed martial arts, which are not the arts. They gave me 3 seconds to say this, so. An actor's only job is to enter the lives of people who are different from us and let you feel what that feels like. And there were many, many, many powerful performances this year that did exactly that. Breathtaking, compassionate work. But there was one performance this year that stunned me. It sank its hooks in my heart. Not because it was good. There was nothing good about it. But it was effective and it did its job. It made its intended audience laugh and show their teeth. It was that moment when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter, someone he outranked in privilege, power, and the capacity to fight back. It kind of broke my heart when I saw it, and I still can't get it out of my head because it wasn't in a movie. It was real life. And this instinct to humiliate, when it's modeled by someone in the public platform, by someone powerful, it filters down into everybody's life because it kind of gives permission for other people to do the same thing. Disrespect invites disrespect. Violence incites violence. When the powerful use their position to bully others, we all lose. Okay, go up with that thing. Okay, this brings me to the press. We need the principled press to hold power to account, to call them on the carpet, every outrage. That's why our founders enshrined the press and its freedoms in our Constitution. So I only ask the famously well-heeled Hollywood foreign press and all of us in our community to join me in supporting the Committee to Protect Journalists, because we're going to need them going forward, and they'll need us to safeguard the truth. One more thing. Once, when I was standing on the set one day, whining about something, you know, we were going to work through supper or the long hours or whatever, Tommy Lee Jones said to me, "Isn't it such a privilege, Meryl, just to be an actor?" Yeah, it is, and we have to remind each other of the privilege and the responsibility of the act of empathy We should all be very proud of the work Hollywood honors here tonight. As my friend, the dear departed Princess Leia, said to me once, take your broken heart, make it into art. Thank you for it.